Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Arnold Anderson Stadium in lovely Brantford, Ontario for a rare Saturday afternoon of IBL Brantford Red Sox action as the visiting London Majors, sitting at 19-12, coming into today's contest, take on your Brantford Red Sox. Marshall Crocker on the call today, as always, here for the Brantford Red Sox IBL YouTube channel, joined alongside me as he was yesterday, and hopefully should be for most of the rest of the season. We got Brian Hawley back on the call today. First time you've had the pleasure alongside me to call a London game this year, but I'll tell you, they're a fun lineup, they're a fun team to watch, and for a team here in Brantford that, well, I say it every game, but every game gets more and more crucial if they want any hope at making the playoffs. Both teams are going to give it their best shot today. We got some fun pitchers on the mound. I'm ready for a good one. What say you, Brian?
Well, I am too. This is a London team that is tough to play against. They play my brand of baseball. They don't hit a lot, but they play really good defense. They pitch well. And so it's going to be really important for the Brantford Red Sox to take advantage of every scoring opportunity that they get. Now, in the lineup today is a couple of big names that people know, like Eduardo De Olio is one of the best catchers in this league. Certainly, maybe the best hitting catcher in the IBL. And, of course, the big man, Cleveland Brownlee, who is, is a famous guy in the IBL. So I expect a really good ball game tonight. The Brantford Red Sox have, who I believe is their best pitcher going, in Connor Irvin, and hopefully it'll be an exciting ball game.
And a really cool day today. Today's Arnold Anderson Sport Fun Day. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later on in the contest, but a great turnout here. Still more fans kind of cycling in from out in the kids' fun area. But as we get ready here, we'll talk about a few storylines throughout the day as Connor Irvin gets ready to go. He'll be the man on the mound, multi-time IBL Player of the Week for the Brantford Red Sox. He should give us our best shot here on the mound. But let's talk a little bit about a guy that's always fun. Any of the London fans watching this broadcast will know him well. Veteran of the league. Tell us a little bit about number 4 hitter for the Majors, Cleveland Brownlee.
Well, I'd be hard-pressed to say something about Cleveland Brownlee that somebody else hasn't said yet before, but I had the pleasure to meet him a couple of years ago. We played against him in the playoffs. He is a guy, everything about Cleveland Brownlee is big. When he connects, he hits it big. He is a big man. He's about 6'5". He might be 250, 260 pounds. Solid dude, and the only thing bigger than the body is the smile. He's just one of the nicest guys you will ever want to meet. He's got a great big smile, has the respect of everyone in this league, and I just look forward to watching him play for, I believe he's 41 years old, 40 or wow. 41. I think he's an 84 born child, shall we say. And to tell you what, I don't know how much left he's got in the tank, but boy, it sure is fun to watch him hit, because when he connects, the ball goes very, very far.
Well, we're getting right into the action here. We'll tell you a little bit about the inning as the inning goes on, what we're looking at on offense and defense. But leading us off today for the visiting London Majors, Francisco Fajardo, the shortstop, will lead us off. Irvin's first pitch of the day, right down Main Street for strike one.
Now, early on, Irvin is going to have to mix up his pitches, throw a lot of strikes, get the defense on their toes, get them active, and they should give him a good game behind him.
That one in. Check the swing, didn't matter. Strike two. Connor Irvin coming into this game, 5.12 ERA, 33 strikeouts to 26 walks. Leads the team in innings pitched with 45 2/3. That ball too low, 1-2.
And I think the numbers on Irvin belie his talents and his abilities. He's got 3 good pitches. All his pitches are plus pitches, his fastball, his changeup, and his breaking ball.
Swing and a miss. First batter of the day, sat down by Connor Irvin. And we'll show you the offense here for the London Majors as Francisco Fajardo opens us up and transitions right into Ken Suji, the right fielder. So it's going to be Fajardo, Suji, Eduardo De Olio, Cleveland Brownlee, Tucker Zdunek, Toby Simmons, the 2 outfielders, then Niles, Mosher, and Dre Amaral. That'll be your offensive look today for the Majors. First one a little too high. Ball 1 against Ken Suji. Taking a look at Irvin here. He's a guy that likes his velocity. Has a good fastball, typically places it well. That one a little bit too low that time, though. 2-0.
There's that big sweeping breaking ball of his, too. If it's a fall off the table kind of old Steve Carlton-style curveball. Basically, if it starts at your belt, you should probably leave it because it's likely to bounce.
Here's the 2-0 to Suji. Nice breaking ball there. That one finds the zone, 2-1.
If he's throwing that for a strike, it could be a long day for the Majors.
Now on deck is Eduardo De Olio. Here's Irvin. Kicks and deals. That one chopped right back to Irvin. Should have an easy play here to first base. Catch is made, well fielded. And that's out number 2 in the inning in relatively quick order.
Really nice location there, and it's very important to try and keep those first 2 guys off the bases because DeOlio is a damaging guy. He really did a number on us with Kitchener a couple of years ago. The one game I can recall where I wasn't actually at the game. I was at my niece's wedding, but running the game on my phone, as all baseball addicts do, I watched him hit 2 home runs against us. And he's a big, strong guy. He can hit it out of any ballpark. Really good defensive catcher as well.
First ball in there on DeOlio. He's hitting .333 on the year, 25 RBIs, leads the team. The 0-1, that one over the head easily of the second baseman. Ranging back for it, stayed his right fielder, Graham Tebbett. DeOlio's coming around. He's looking for second, and he will get there standing up. Eduardo DeOlio, first hit of the day for the majors, and it is a double. Well over the head there of the second baseman. No real chance of that for today's second baseman, Lucas Lefebvre. Let's show you the Brantford Red Sox defense. Give you the rundown because, well, the whole team has been kind of around the world in 80 positions. They are flipping the defensive rotation more than we've ever seen. Cassidy Watt, he was yesterday's right fielder, is often the back catch today. He's at first. Lefebvre, Jacob Cancer, and Ortega, your infield. Tachioka, Black, Tebbett, your outfield left to right. Tebbett, sometimes he's a pitcher, sometimes he's an outfielder. Today, he's at right field, and it'll be Andrew Savage catching for Connor Irvin.
Well, the injury to Paulus is big because it puts Black out in center field. Ordinarily, their outfield defense is really, really good with Tachioka and Paulus and Black.
Breaking ball breaks too hard. Cleveland Brownlee finds himself up 1-0 in his first AB of the day.
Cleveland likes to be right on top of the plate. His hands are almost over the plate there, and you feel like you can bust him inside, but if you do, you'd better be something real hard because if he turns on it.
The 1-0, DeOlio on second. A ball in low, no swing, 2-0.
Real nice take there by Brownlee. It's a tough curveball that Irvin throws, and so if you're able to lay off that, you can go focus on the fastball, which is something that I'm sure Cleveland is trying to do here.
One of the better power bats in this majors lineup, and now on deck, Tucker Zdunek behind him. Here's the 2-0. Good breaking ball, finally clips the bottom of the zone, 2-1.
Doesn't quite have the bat speed he once did. Fair enough for a guy who's 40, so you can get away with a fastball that is up, but if it's only somewhat up, you're really flirting with danger.
Here's the 2-1. A swing and a miss there. Makes it 2-2. All twos on the scoreboard. Today's umpires. Home plate, we got Ben Mercier. He's called quite a few games here in Brantford this season. Ryan Herron out on first base. And Ray Brownlee, no relation to Cleveland, out on third. So 2-2. Irvin's next pitch could end the top of the inning. Take a quick moment, take a quick time. As many of the veteran hitters in the IBL do. Remember, DeOlio's still on second.
Probably go back to the deuce here, I think.
Deals, swing and a miss. He'll retire the side. 2 strikeouts for today's starter, Connor Irvin. And it is Eduardo DeOlio, the only man on the board with his double. He gets a quick trip back to the dugout.
Well, other than the one pitch to DeOlio, he looks really sharp today. That curveball is breaking hard, and if, like I said earlier, if he's able to throw that to his spots, he's going to have a long and fruitful outing today.
Let's take a look at the defense here for the London Majors before I give you the rundown for our offensive lineup. It's going to be opened up today for Brantford by Mr. Lucas Lefebvre. First time he's led off the lineup this season. You see the defense here for the Majors. You got Eduardo DeOlio, as you mentioned, the back catch. Today's pitcher, Colby Ring, is going to be the man on the mound for the London Majors. Then the infield, Josh Niles, Dre Amaral, Francisco Fajardo, and Mosher, that's left or right to left. Then out in the outfield, Tucker Zdunek, Toby Simmons, and Ken Suji. Your outfield here for the Majors. Let's take a look at today's starting pitcher matchup here to give you a proper rundown what we're looking at here with Irvin versus our starter today for the London Majors. It's going to be Colby Ring against Connor Irvin. Taking a look at the numbers here. Similar ERA, 5.12 for Irvin, 5.4 for Colby Ring. Similar records, 1 win apiece. Irvin's had a little bit more sample size. More walks than strikeouts for Colby Ring. Connor Irvin just barely in the green at 33-26. Irvin, though, double the sample size. He leads the team in innings pitched. He's been a pretty much consistent starter, really the only starting pitcher consistently rotating in that rotation. He's out today. You got to think similar to yesterday. The stats may say that the Red Sox have a starting pitcher advantage on the numbers, but we've seen a number of times this year, Brian. That's not always the way the cookie crumbles.
Well, the number that jumps out at you there is the 17 walks in 22 innings, so that's something that the Red Sox are going to have to be cognizant of. Grind out at bats, get deep into the zone, don't chase anything out of the zone, make him come into the zone, and have at him then, because he's not an overpowering velocity pitcher. He does have a pretty good looking off-speed pitch, but like I said, 17 walks in 22 innings is a big number, and so you have to make sure that you're disciplined at the plate. Lefebvre, who had a good night last night, had a double and also ripped one into the left center gap that was tracked down by the left fielder. Otherwise had a real good night at the plate last night. See if he can parlay that into success ahead of Tachioka and Ortega this afternoon.
So here's Lucas Lefebvre up for the first time today. He hit 8th in yesterday's contest. Leads off today. First pitch in, bottom of the zone, catches the corner. It's strike 1. Ren Tachioka once again going to hit 2 today. He's warming up on the side. Colby Ring, fastball right down the middle. Can't quite catch up to it for Lefebvre, 0-2. So Tachioka and Ortega will be the 2-3. Lefebvre, that one popped up over the heads of the infield. Going forward is the first baseman. Comes down. Josh Niles got a hand on that one. First out of the inning and 3 quick pitches.
Yeah, the idea for Ring today obviously is going to be the ability to throw strikes and get ahead of the count. As the old line goes, get ahead, stay ahead. When you've got a problem with walks over the season, there's a mindset coming up there, conversely to what I was talking about that the Brantford hitters want to do. From his standpoint, this is probably going to be the only lefty in the lineup, so he won't have that advantage. But, at the end of the day, you got to throw strikes, get ahead, and then make good pitches while you're ahead.
First pitch in, low and wide for Ren Tachioka. Now hitting .427 on the year. That number's been dropping somewhat, but it's got room to drop because he is one of the best in the IBL at getting on base. The 1-0 becomes the 2-0. That ball a little too high.
Masher in just off the grass at third base. We all know that Tachioka's a good bunter.
That ball in, DeOlio can't quite get a hand on it. Early 3-0 for Ring facing Tachioka for his first time. And that is a quick 4-ball walk for Ren Tachioka. First base runner today for the Red Sox, and it is their fastest. Not a guy you want to leave on the base pass early.
The thing about DeOlio, he's got a really strong arm. Obviously, he's a big guy, so he doesn't have the kind of range of motion that some catchers do. And so, but if he gets a good pitch to throw on, he's tough to steal on.
So here comes our all-star starter. Man with some power on the bat. Hits for average as well. Chris Ortega, 325 on the year. Team leading 29 RBIs.
We'll see what kind of move Ring has over to first base, see if he has any interest in going and checking on the runners.
Here's Colby Ring. Ring, that ball just barely up and over our heads. Luckily, it won't roll back. It'll be a quick strike 1 in the count for Ortega. Cassidy Watt now the man on deck.
Yeah, 2, 3, and 4, same as last night, if my memory serves me.
Brody Black has dropped to the 5. He'll hit 5th in the order. Lefebvre, now number 1. Tachioka and Niles keeping each other company. Quick pickoff attempt, but Tachioka's well in time there.
That is what we would categorize as the B move. That won't be as good move. Just a check over there. I'm just letting them know I know you're there kind of a move.
Ortega makes a quick low swing at that one. No real chance. That's 0-2.
Got fooled by the breaking pitch there. He's got a very short leg kick, which will make him quick to the plate. So he won't be easy to run on, especially, well, we'll find out here if there's anybody that can run on this guy. It's going to be the fella at first base now, Tachioka.
Might have a better chance if he can get to second. Here's the 0-2 against Ortega. Ortega hits that one well. Over the head of the shortstop. Easily rolls into Zdunic. And we got runners on first and second. Ortega with the stand-up single.
Well, there's what we saw last night, an 0-2 pitch that got way too much of the plate. And Ring paid for it. You can't hang one to Ortega and expect to get away with it. So now you got 2 on and 1 out, and an RBI guy up here. So a good situation right away for Brantford, just like last night where they did get 1 on the board in the first inning. So important for this Brantford team to get a lead when they are desperate for wins late in the season.
Cool moment between catchers, Cassidy Watt and Eduardo De Olio. Quick fist bump. One with the umpire when Watt came up to the plate. He's got 2 base runners in front of him. See if Tachioka has any movement on second. That ball catches the bat straight down. Watt a little bit of discomfort. He is often in discomfort there at the plate. Usually it's on defense.
Yeah, I think that one got him in the ankle. That's a big sweeping curveball that Ring's got there.
A little bit of discomfort there. It looks like the left leg potentially. Fouled the ball kind of right off his own leg. And Cassidy Watt's been taking the brunt force of a lot of errant baseballs there as the defensive back catch. Potentially part of the reason he's cycling positions so often. He's ready now, 0-1. Runners on first and second. Ring checks again, kicks and deals. Up a little bit too high. Nice job by Watt to not go around.
Just kind of keep an eye on London's second baseman, Dre Amaral, who is playing it pretty close to the vest, trying to keep Tachioka as close as possible. Keep your eyes on him because he is an absolute wizard with the glove, and much as we saw last night with Wisner.
That ball low, 2-1, and Tachioka taking a bigger and bigger lead as the at-bat goes on.
Amaral played for me in the elimination tournament in 22U when he played for the Kitchener Panthers. He played shortstop for me because why wouldn't you? Because he's such a wizard with that glove.
Colby Ring checks again. Here's the 2-1. And runner goes. Tachioka. Wide throw over the head. Tachioka will come home. We've seen many a play similar to that on defense this year. The ball's still going. Here comes Ortega to third. And the Red Sox finally get a defensive error to go their way. We are on the board as Tachioka comes home.
Well, and technically speaking, Marshall, I think they got 2 there. With the one with the overthrow to De Olio. What a great jump Tachioka got. But then the left fielder.
That's Zdunic today, yeah.
Yeah, Zdunic. The ball went right under his glove. He tried to get it on the run and get a good crow hop. He had a chance to get Tachioka at home. I don't think he did. But because he was in such a hurry, he ran right over the ball and gave Ortega another base, which gives a fly ball opportunity, bringing the infield in.
Finally finds the inside corner of the zone. Full count now to Cassidy Watt. Made it 3-1 there on that high errant pitch that led to Tachioka's steal.
And every run matters here. This is such a big at bat early in the ball game for Watt to get this run in.
That one in the dirt. Cassidy Watt takes the free pass. Second walk of the first inning for starter Colby Ring.
So now most likely the middle infield will go back and play just what we call corners in, so that if the ball is hit to the corner infielders, they will go home and cut the runner down at the plate. If the ball is hit up the middle, then the middle infielders will try for the double play.
The majors today, similar to the Jackfish yesterday, coming off a previous couple losses. In the case of the majors, only one yesterday to Kitchener. That ball low in the dirt for Brody Black was leading off yesterday. Today he's in the 5 spot. Starts out at 1-0.
The only flaw in the theory here by the majors is that Brody Black is playing center field. Great runner. Really tough to double off. It's got to be an absolute tailor-made double play ball.
And runner goes. They're in time. Nice steal there by Cassidy Watt. We talked about yesterday a guy as a catcher you don't typically see stealing. He had 5 yesterday. He's got 6 on the season today. Don't have
Well,
to
he
see
got one
catchers run
last
or
night.
first
You know,
baseman.
we were talking him up last night. That stolen base that he got, and that's 2 today. And now that's going to have to bring those middle infielders back in. And again, a really good situation here for Brantford to put up a crooked number.
Swing and miss there for Brody Black. 1-2, now the count. 2 walks, 2 steals already in the inning for the Red Sox.
Black had a tough night last night, but he's certainly got an opportunity to make some hay while the sun shines here. 2 runners in scoring position, infield drawn in. Got to put the ball in play here. I assume he'll come back with a curveball.
He's got runners on second, third. That one low in the dirt. Rolls away a little bit, but right into the path that Ortega would be taken to the home plate. So no runners. 2-2. Jeremy Veilleux now on deck. Today's designated hitter, as he was yesterday.
I don't know if you get away from the curveball here. He doesn't really have the velo to blow one past Black, but he made him look not so good on that curveball earlier in the at bat.
Kicks deals. Inside on the hands. Full count once again. Went the way of the walk last time for Cassidy Watt. We'll see what it brings here for Brody Black.
Well, we mentioned the walks before the game. That's already 2. Keeping in mind they got a run in and runners on second and third, and they don't have a hit yet.
Here's 3-2. And a little too high. Walk number 3 in the inning. This time it's Brody Black.
That'll probably bring a visit to the mound by the manager, Root Chanderdat.
Now, one of the first things we talked about when we saw this stat sheet for the London Majors today in terms of pitchers, they really don't have a lot of personnel that get minutes on this team or get innings. So interesting to see how early, if they need to, that they bring the relievers in, but then how much of a workload is put on those relievers if you got a small bench.
Well, and they threw Keys last night, and Payano threw, I think, on Tuesday in Chatham. And so Payano could probably go tomorrow. It's a home-and-home weekend. They're back in London tomorrow afternoon, these 2 teams. And so, they're looking for length for sure out of Ring this afternoon. And if he's not going to be able to get that to him, I noticed there's Springer headed out to the bullpen early, a big left-handed pitcher that I was talking about off air. He can certainly give them 3 or 4 innings of relief. He's a tough left-handed pitcher. They got a lot of lefties on this team.
Here's Jeremy Veilleux up for his first time today. Bases loaded in front of him, 1 out. A ball sent foul off towards the trucks in the first base line. Don't believe it catches a vehicle, 0-1. And that's a great point you bring up about the home and home, the situation where what the Red Sox do today, what they can do to punish the London Majors pitchers will reap rewards tomorrow as well. That ball in the dirt evens it up at 1-1.
Yeah, the sooner you can get Ring out of the game and make them burn up as much of that bullpen as they can, makes it a real tough situation for Payano if he's going to throw tomorrow, to have to give them a lot of length because they'll be short in the pen.
Sorry. Them bring him in today. Nice breaking ball. Doesn't come back. 2-1.
Well, 17 walks in 22 innings has turned into 20 walks in 22 and a third innings, and now he's fallen behind Veilleux as well. Corners are back in for the infield, who will come home on the corners, as I mentioned, on a ground ball.
That ball finally in the zone. 2-2 here.
Ooh, we may have got a call there. That was a borderline pitch.
Veilleux's .219 on the year. Only 1 home run, 7 RBIs. Has about half the at-bats of most of the starters. Smaller sample size.
Again, key at bat here to get that crooked number on the board early.
Here's the 2-2. Veilleux, swing and a miss. Breaking ball, catches him low. Strike 1 on the day and on the inning for Colby Ring. So here's Jacob Cantor. He's been an interesting story since being picked up by the Red Sox about a week ago. Went 2 for 3 with a walk in his debut. A little bit of struggle his next game against Guelph. Didn't put much on the board yesterday, but most of the offense didn't, to be fair to him. He's now hitting .222.
It was a real opportunity for Ring to get out of a big mess here if he can get Cantor.
First ball in on the close side. Cantor may not like that one. Regardless, it's 0-1.
That's a big, sharp breaking ball he's got there. That's if he's going to throw that for strikes, similar to Irvine. Both pitchers, they're similar pitchers here, except Irvine's got more velo than Ring does.
No RBIs yet for Cantor on the season. That ball sent right at the shortstop, Fajardo. Fajardo tries to second, gets there in time. Amaro on the base, and the base is left loaded. They'll strand the runners as Cantor grounds out to end off the first inning of work. Colby Ring, a little bit left to be desired, but he gets out of the inning with only one up on the board.
Well, like I said, 3 walks. That'll be a big pitch count for that first inning, too. He probably threw 30 pitches in that first inning. I'm not 100%.
29, yeah. Well, let's take a quick look today at the out-of-town scoreboard. None of the game's going to be starting until 4, but we'll give you a look at what's happening around the IBL here, just to give you a sense of what games you can catch if you happen to still be watching baseball around 4 and 6 o'clock. The Chettencunt Barnstormers go on the road to play the Barrie Bay Cats at 4:05. The Toronto Maple Leafs on the road against the last night's opponent for the Red Sox, 6:05, Toronto against Welland. And then it's the host of the All-Star game going on the road to Guelph, 7:30 o'clock the start time for that Hamilton-Guelph contest. And we'll take a quick look as well at the standings, if we can bring up the IBL standings for the entire league after yesterday's contest. So that'll include the loss for Brantford. That'll include the win for Kitchener over London. Here you see there, Chatham, Kent, and Campbellton sitting at 17 apiece with a win for both those squads today, which is possible given the score sheet. And Brantford, a loss today, and a win for them would put both Chatham and Hamilton locked into the playoffs at 18 wins to Brantford's 6. So that's an interesting thing for them to watch today. You got to think if you're a Cardinals or Barnstormers fan, you're not too worried. You're not exactly chattering your teeth about making the playoffs, but just something to watch on the schedule. But of course, the big story today, what does Toronto do? What does Kitchener do? And the Brantford Red Sox still 2 games in hand on Kitchener. As we've talked about all season, Arnold Anderson's going to get a lot of baseball this year, a lot of home contests left for your Red Sox.
Well, it is, as they say, go time for the Brantford Red Sox. They need to string a bunch of wins together, and it starts with 1. And like I said, they had bases loaded, 1 out there, and needed a big hit. Unfortunately, couldn't put the ball in play with 1 out, and then couldn't get the big hit with 2 out.
Irvin's first pitch. Taking on Tucker Zdunich for his first time today. Yo, 1, 0-2, well low in the zone. Mercier has given those to the pitchers thus far. 0-2 now to Zdunich. Toby Simmons on deck. That one well too low. Goes wild from Savage. Luckily no base runners. 1-2.
And we sure got a good example last night of how Savage can block balls. He was kept very busy by that De Los Santos slider last night.
What was your guess? 7 in 1 inning at one point?
I was 6 or 7 for sure in 1 inning, and he got them all. Very impressive.
Leadoff hitter for the All-Star game. Toby Simmons is on deck. Swing and a miss there. Sits him down. Connor Irvin, 3rd of the day. First to lead off the 2nd. Good start today with the sit-down stuff for Connor Irvin.
Yeah, Irvin looks sharp today, and of course Simmons, this is another good hitter for London. They don't have a lot of them, but this is one. I was a little surprised to see him down in the 6th hole. But Roop Chanderdat just trying to make his lineup longer.
First pitch shows bunt, thinks better of it, and then right down Main Street for strike 1. Josh Niles, the first baseman, now on deck. 0-1, 1 out. Here's Irvin. That ball low in the dirt, evens the count up at 1-1. I think the spot he's trying to pick really has been just that center bottom of the zone thus far. Mercier has been giving it to him. Nice breaking ball, a little bit too wide, 2-1. Has yet to walk a batter today. 2-1. Swing and a miss for Toby Simmons. Big hack there. Can't find baseball. 2-2.
Good fastball in the inner half there.
This could be Irvin's 4th K through only 6 batters.
After the fastball, you got to think maybe going back to the breaking ball here.
See if Simmons sits on the power. Chops that one right towards first base. That's Cassidy Watt today. He'll take it himself, waves him off, and that is an easy play for out number 2.
Good pitch there. Went back in with the fastball. Good idea. Jammed him. Wasn't able to extend those arms. Got a lazy ground ball down to first base. A nice, easy out.
One of the taller gentlemen on this London Majors team, the first baseman Josh Niles, up at the plate. 2 outs in front of him in the inning. Only 1 hit so far for the Majors side. That was DeOlio in the first with a double. Ty Mosher now on deck. First pitch high, ball 1. Then after Mosher, it's going to be Amaral in the 9 spot. The 1-0 from Irvin. That ball fouled straight back at the fencing. 1-1. IBL All-Star Emmett Cooper, have to grab that one. Cassidy Watt there. Nice play defensively on that last run. He's today's first baseman. 1-1, 2 outs. That ball inside, close side corner. Nice location there. 1-2, 1 pitch away from another quick inning. Really liking what I'm seeing so far placement-wise from Connor Irvin.
Absolutely. He's really control of that fastball in.
Had that baseball on a string. That one a little bit too low. Wedges itself in the dirt. That's 2-2.
It's always job one when you're pitching, locating the fastball. If you're locating your fastball, everything else feeds off of that.
All 2s on the scoreboard. Could be 1 pitch away from the end of the top second. Here's the 2-2. Oh, no call from the home plate umpire Mercier. That one was close.
A decidedly different zone than what we saw last night, not giving that outside corner like the umpire last night was.
3-2-2. Only a foul ball would not resolve this at bat. Sets him down. Strike 3. Connor Irvin, 4 Ks through 7 batters. What a start for number 20. Well, it was Halen Knoll yesterday, the starting pitcher for the Jackfish. He was just racking up Ks out there. Today, it's the home side. Connor Irvin, what a start.
Yeah, very efficient, that's for sure, and good command of the fastball, dropping that curveball in. He's going to be a handful if he can keep that up.
Ready. So to lead off the second here for the Brantford Red Sox, Andrew Savage, Graham Tebbett, and Lucas Lefebvre. We'll take a look here at our starting lineup for your Brantford Red Sox. And here's your lineup for today's contest. Lucas Lefebvre leads us off with Ren Tachioka hitting in the 2 spot. That's going to be Cassidy Watt after Chris Ortega, Brody Black, and today's DH Jeremy Veyu, just as he was in yesterday's contest. Jacob Cantor, Andrew Savage, and today's right fielder Graham Tebbett round off this lineup. Of course, your starting pitcher for today's contest, Connor Irvin. He's been stellar through 2 innings, and I mean, the interesting point is, once again, that right field position out there. Graham Tebbett, typically a pitcher often for this team. He can pitch. He can play the outfield as well. Really good hitter. And that right field spot has been a question for this team since Paulos went down with injury. Of course, he had center field locked down. Brody Black was the everyday right fielder. Now we've had some cycling since Paulos' injury. Torres has played out there. Of course, yesterday we got a special treat. Typical back catch, Cassidy Watt played right field, and today he's moved to first. Opening up the spot for Tebbett was one of a pair of big home runs in a game earlier this year against Welland. Tachioka had one to right field, and he followed suit a couple moments later. Here's Andrew Savage hitting in the 8th spot today, and it'll be Tebbett on deck ready to relieve him. We'll see what we see from Colby Ring here. Remember, he had 3 walks in that first inning, 2 stolen bases allowed. See if he kicks it off against Savage. First pitch right down the middle. Strike 1. Here's the 0-1. That ball a little wide and outside. Evens the count, 1-1. Keep an eye here on the placement for Colby Ring. We'll see if he can find a spot better in the second inning. That one perfectly finds the bottom of the zone. Strike 2. It's been a low zone today, but it's been consistent, and the pitchers are doing their best to execute within it. Here's the 33rd pitch of the day. 1-2. That ball chopped foul. Keeps the at-bat alive at 1-2. Savage staying in this one. Andrew Savage, small sample size, only 42 at-bats on the season since joining the team mid-year. 238. His average on the year, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. That ball fouled back once again. Just barely leaves the park. That one out in the first base grandstand. Luckily, nobody's sitting in that area. Tell you folks at home, it is a hot one here at Arnold Anderson. Always is, but at least yesterday we had the luck of the sun going down for a night game.
Yeah, the breeze is out behind us in the east there, so we're unable to feel it. It's a little bit warm up in the booth this afternoon.
That ball high for ball 2. Evens the count up at 2-2. The Red Sox leading this one 1-0 after the first inning. Aaron pitch gets away from Colby Ring, and Tachioka came home to score. Bases were stranded after that. That one well hit by Savage. Straight out to center field. Simmons reaching back for that one. Still over the shoulder. Makes the catch. Nice play by number 96. He was an all-star for a reason. Good catch by Toby Simmons.
Well, he sure made that look easy. That ball was crushed out to center field there, and that's about the third or fourth time in the last little while that we've seen a ball that would have been a home run elsewhere in the park, but stays in the park because of that. I don't even know what the number is. It's certainly over 400 feet out to dead center, that's for sure.
So here's the final batter in the lineup for the Brantford Red Sox. Here's Graham Tebbett, part-time pitcher, part-time outfielder. Today gets the call at right field. That ball high, ball 1. Lucas the Fave back on deck. Colby Ring now up to 37 pitches on the day. That ball well wide, ball 2. Just hasn't quite seemed to have the placement of Connor Irvin, neither really taking the lead in terms of movement horizontally. Good breaking ball from both pitchers, but Irvin's been placing it a little bit better thus far. 2-0 becomes the 2-1. No swing from Tebbett.
Well, that was a good pitch there, but you're right. He hasn't had the fastball command that Irvin has, that's for sure, which he needs because he doesn't have big velo, so he needs to be able to locate that fastball.
That ball sent right back towards second base. Dre Amaral misplays it through the legs. That textbook second base spot that has been so hard to predict the bounce off the grass bites Dre Amaral in his second time playing at Arnold Anderson this year.
Yeah, I don't know what it is out there that makes that ball jump up, but he was in a perfect position. He had the glove down, and the ball just jumped right up over his glove.
Poor Lucas Bateman out there. Typically plays second base for us. He's been bit by that spot quite a few times this year. This time goes the way of Graham Tebbett. He's on first base. Here's Lucas Lefebvre up for the second time today.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it maybe play shallower there, so it doesn't give it a chance to have that bounce.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot, one way or the other.
Lucas Lefebvre, he popped out in the first inning. That's his day so far. Now on deck is Tachioka. That ball chopped over towards the third base area. Misplay on the glove again. Finally gets into the glove of Fajardo, but not before Lucas Lefebvre gets on to first.
Well, the third baseman for London is stuck on the in-between hop there, and that's a tough play when you get into that situation. That's Masher out there, sorry, and you know, you got to be able to take that right off the dirt on the short hop, or you got to drop step it and take a longer hop. He probably was going in there trying to get the short hop so he could try and turn 2.
So here's Tachioka. Runners now on first and second. Shows bunt. No bunt. Ball's low. Ball 1. Now warming up is Chris Ortega. To this point in the ball game, only 2 Brantford hitters now have not been on base yet through 2 innings.
Interesting there where Masher crashed on the bunt. Open up a possibility for a stolen base.
That was Mosher's first real misplay today out there on third. Evens the count. Ring finds the zone for 1-1.
2 strikes now. Is that 1-1? Sorry, 1-1. So there's still that opportunity. The first baseman is really crashing hard. I don't really see a bunt here, to be honest.
That ball low in the dirt. That's ball 2. And we saw 2 successful bunts from Tachioka yesterday. He's crafty in the ways that he tries to get on first, and that really is his goal because he knows from there he can do the rest with his legs.
Right, and those were 2 significantly different bunts. One was a sac bunt, and the other was a bunt for a hit.
Here's the 2-1. Shows bunt again. Goes low again. Now 3-1.
So the infield changed it up there. Mosher stayed home, which means the pitcher is responsible for the left side of the infield, which is a little bit more of a challenge with a left-handed hitter because he's got to spin and fire.
So chance here for the 4th walk of the day for the Red Sox offense. 3-1 to Tachioka. And there it is, ball high, ball 4. Bases loaded once again, second time in this game. 2 base runners couldn't do anything with it in the first. Let's see what Chris Ortega can do in the second. 1 single in the first, he's up for his 2nd time today.
Well, they need a hit here. I mean, they've got the right guy, as we often say in baseball, right man, right spot, and they need hit. They need Ortega to come through here. You know, a sac fly is okay. You know, an RBI ground out is okay, but at the end of the day, they need to put up a crooked number here to get some space in between them and London.
First pitch to Ortega, right down the middle. We'll see how much Ring really tests the IBL All-Star starter. Not really left much of a choice with the bases loaded after Tachioka's 2nd walk and 2 at-bats. Now on deck is another power threat, Cassidy Watt. Ortega, that one up and over our heads, should go foul. Heads up to the fans in the bleachers. Everybody should be okay. 0-2 now.
Fortunate for Ortega there, he missed his pitch and popped it up, but it went out of play, so now he's got a chance. But that nasty curveball that Ring has, you got to think he's going to see at least one of those here in the next couple of pitches.
Was one of many righties to struggle yesterday against Noel, had 3 strikeouts. Make that 4 in 2 games. Strikeout called on the outside of the zone. Ortega not happy. Now 2 outs, bases loaded again. Cassidy Watt, 0 for 3 so far for the Red Sox with runners on every base. See what Watt can do in the 4 spot.
Well, that's a situation like last night where they had bases loaded a couple of times and then strike 3 looking with 1 out. Those are so frustrating as a manager where just anything you can do to put the ball in play is likely to score a run. And that is very much unlike Chris Ortega, who is as clutch a hitter as they have.
First pitch to Watt. Nice breaking ball there, a little too wide. Looks similar to the spot Ortega just got rung up on, so these righties going to have to figure out that outside part of the zone like they did yesterday.
That was a nice break for Ring. The ball looked up from where I was. Obviously, we can't tell exactly where the pitch was, but
that ball fouled back between the ump and the catcher. 1-1. I think the big problem for Ortega the last couple of games, he just seems to get behind in counts more than he was at the start of the year. Was always laying off on those first pitches, was always getting balls, and once he's in a hitter count, he's dangerous. But we'll see what Watt can do here, even 1-1.
I think the one thing that's different is he said it himself when he was on the Red Sox report with you a week ago.
Yep.
He's always in attack mode.
1-1. 2-1. They try the back pick. No luck on Tachioka. Yeah, certainly Chris Ortega, a guy that is done well in attack mode this year, leads the team for good reason in both home runs and RBIs. Yep. But since the All-Star break, it's cooled off a little bit. So runners on every base. Here's the 2-1 to Watt.
Big at bat here.
That ball a little too high once again. 3-1. One more ball would send home a run.
Well, now you're in a situation where you've just got that little pie plate of a strike zone. You're looking for one pitch, one spot.
If you're Cassidy Watt, pretend you're in the home run derby right here. Wait for something down the middle. 3-1 pitch. Ball's wide. Here comes a runner. Graham Tebbett, he was looking at his third base coach. Realizes he gets the free pass, and he comes home for the 2nd run of the day.
Yeah, the scoreboard still said 2-1.
Well, that's why we love our graphics team, why we love Brandon keeping the scoreboard updated. We got the numbers here on the Brantford Red Sox IBL YouTube channel. Another number to bring up, Colby Ring, still bases loaded, 55 pitches through 2 innings. Here's Brody
not
Black.
Even. It was similar to last night when it took Noel 60 pitches to get through 2 innings. And
stayed in a while, though.
Well, he settled in. Definitely the Red Sox didn't get him early. And now there's yet another opportunity for Brody Black with the bases loaded, just like the first inning.
That was the 5th walk of the game for Ring. All of them to Tachioka, Watt, and this guy, Brody Black. Here's the 0-1. Black, that one right back at the pitcher. Should be an easy throw. They at least get one on the board. The walks really costing Colby Ring thus far, but only for 2 runs worth. The ground ball right back to the pitcher for Brody Black, and it's good to get on the board. It's good to start building a little bit of a lead, but I think if this game gets a little bit closer late, these are the innings we're going to remember back to, Brian, when you're leaving the bases loaded.
Well, like I say, it's exact same as last night where they had bases loaded, 1 out, and a called third strike. That's 3 times in the last 11 innings where they've had bases loaded and 1 out and had a called third strike against them, and that's something that needs to be addressed to get a little bit more aggressive. I'd rather you swing at a pitch in the dirt than to look at a pitch that gets called strike 3, even if you disagree with the call.
Well, as the fans cheer for a race out there on the third base line here on Arnold Anderson Sport Fun Day at Arnold Anderson Stadium, we'll send you away for a quick break and a quick word from our partners. When we come back, we'll be ready for Connor Irvin to start the top of the third.
Hard-line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
And welcome back on a very warm Saturday of baseball here at Arnold Anderson Stadium as the visiting London Majors find themselves down 2-0 through 2 innings to your Brantford Red Sox, who have looked good. They've been getting plenty of base runners, Brian, but as we just talked about, need to start cashing them in a little more consistently. It's the first pitch in there to Ty Mosher, today's third baseman. Finds himself down 0-1. A 1 becomes 1-1, ball high. Looking at the numbers here, Ty Mosher, 137 the average on the season. Pretty big sample size too, 51 at bats. 1 home run, 2 RBIs, then a 12-7 strikeout to walk ratio.
Yeah, you really have to go at the bottom of this order. A couple guys who are hitting under 200. You know, I really like Dre Emerald defensively, but has not had a lot of success in the league hitting. And so, you know, there's a situation right there. A 2-1 pitch, a curveball low. That's one maybe you think that he'd throw a fastball and go right at him and challenge him.
Connor over the 3-1. First free pass of the day, wide outside off the plate. Walks Mosher on 5 pitches.
That's unfortunate.
Here's your man you were talking about pregame. Dre Emerald hitting in the 9 spot.
Second baseman number 41, Dre Emerald.
Emerald playing second today, the final guy up in this order. On deck is Francisco Fajardo, which will be back to the top of the lineup for the London Majors.
I think it's time to crash the third baseman. Likely to see a bunt here.
Emerald hitting just better than Mosher, 156 on the air. Shows bunt, thinks better of it, and right down the middle. That'll be strike 1. So Irvin's first walk a moment ago comes after he's already thrown 4 strikeouts. Only 1 hit yet on the day for the London Majors. Shows bunt again, bunts it back foul, now finds himself down 0-2.
It's always surprising to me when you get to this level and you see how many guys have difficulty with that. The Red Sox had a bunt situation last night, had 2 cracks at it. I think it was Bateman, unable to get the bunt down. Here, Emerald, same thing.
Here's 0-2. Wide off the plate, tries to frame it, no luck. That's 1-2.
Most of the time during batting practice, the guys will lay down bunts at the start before they even start swinging the bat. They'll lay a bunt in each direction during batting practice. I can only assume the London Majors do the same thing that they did when I was playing against them.
Ball sent past first base, into the glove of Cassidy Watt, but the wild throw. Awesome range to even get a hand on it, but the throw to first goes wide. Cassidy Watt, she can't quite get there in time. Runner will advance, so Amaral and Mosher, the 2 lowest statistical hitters on this London Majors team, both on base to open up the third.
And isn't that just sort of a microcosm of what we've seen out of the Brantford Red Sox thus far this season, where if something could possibly go wrong, it will. You know, a nice little piece to put the ball in play, you know, to my point earlier in the bottom of the second there, where you just got to get that ball in play. And Amaral did that to try and move the runner along. I was a little bit surprised. Watt made a real nice pickup going to his right, and he was headed towards second base, so I was a little surprised he didn't throw to second.
2-0. Pardon me. Oh, first pitch of the at-bat. Are they going to say he was hit by the baseball? Runners advance. Still thinking about it. Fajardo.
Oh, he's going to get his base there. The only thing that I might have done was to check with the base umpire to see if he attempted the bunt there.
I was waiting to see. Yeah.
What they're talking about is whether the batter's foot was outside of the batter's box. But the umpire came right out after the pitch and pointed to the fact that he was still in the batter's box. But the only thing that I didn't see there was the possibility of checking to see if he attempted to bunt that ball. So what a collection here we have of bases loaded, nobody out without the benefit of a hit. You've got a walk, an error, and a hit batsman.
Yep.
Now the corners will have to come in so they can try and nail this runner at the plate.
Here's Ken Tsuji. That ball well high for Tsuji's first pitch he faces. He grounded out in the first inning. Eduardo De Olio on deck.
Sorry, Marshall. They better get somebody here because the big guys are coming up in De Olio and Brownlee coming up next.
No outs yet in the inning. Bases loaded. Big at bat here for Irvin. Nice pitch there. Back in the zone on the breaking ball. Evens it up. Tsuji this year, 247. He's got 16 RBIs, one of the best on the team. 13 strikeouts to only 3 walks.
Oh, man, he just can't get a call on that outside corner.
Going to have to pitch him a little closer inside. 2-1 now. Kind of second day in a row. Lefty batters just much more favorable zone than the righties. Here's the 2-1. That ball popped straight back. Fouled into the netting. 2-2 now.
Something that I just noticing there the last couple of pitches, Dre Amaral getting a very big secondary lead after the pitch is thrown. There may be a back pick available to Savage if he decides to take a chance on it.
Here's the 2-2.
Big pitch here.
Kicks and deals. Inside. Luckily doesn't catch him. Full count here.
Tried to catch the inside of the plate. I think it works if he gets him. Based on the reaction from Tsuji, it looked like he was sitting on a breaking ball, but he yanked it a bit glove side and missed the plate.
Big pitch here. A ball would bring home a runner. Strike would put an out on the board. Irvin to Tsuji. That one chopped right at the first baseman. He goes home with it. Keeps the scoreboard empty in the London Majors column. They'll leave the bases loaded. Fielder's choice there. What do you think about that call, Brian?
Well, that's exactly what you want to do. Again, a nice pickup by Watt, just like the last time. This time he set his feet and made a good throw home. That's one thing that seems to be forgotten sometimes for infielders. When they got to come home, they rush the throw and they put a bad throw in, but good for Watt for planting his foot and squaring himself up and getting the ball on target, because that's priority one. Yeah, you're thinking about a double play, but that's a very difficult double play in the fact that the pitcher has to get all the way across and be there in time for a throw. Otherwise, you just got to eat it.
Here's Eduardo De Olio. Doubled in the first. That ball well fouled with some good speed. Finds a hole in the fencing.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen that before.
Wow. I mean, Cassidy Watt there making the great play. Usually the defensive back catch for this team is definitely more of a microwave than a thermometer when it comes to kind of keeping the temperature up in that defense. He knows what he's doing. He makes his defense in the infield better.
Be real careful here, otherwise they'll be putting a crooked number up with De Olio.
Whoa, catches him inside. Had he leaned in, might have got the HBP instead. Ball 1.
The one upside about Brownlee on deck is he really struggled with that curveball in his first at bat, and he is one of the better candidates for a double play ball. So just try and stay out of trouble. Even if you give up the one run in here with De Olio, keep that double play in order.
Irvin, nice pitch. Doesn't get it.
Little up, that one.
Looks like a seemingly lower zone again. Both he and Ring for London have had more success on the bottom side than the top side. Here's the 2-1. Bases loaded to De Olio. That ball fouled back. gives Irvin the chance for his 5th K of the day. Still the only hitter in this game, despite 5 base runners so far for the London Majors. Only 1 on a hit, and it was DeOlio in the first.
Yeah, he made a mistake getting a pitch up and out over the plate. That's one thing you can't do with DeOlio. You can't let him extend those hands, those arms, and so probably a fastball in is your best bet here, I would think.
You've got a ball to give. We'll see what he does on 2-2. Here's Irvin. That ball chopped right down the third base line, just foul left of the bag. He's giving him stuff to hit. DeOlio times it up well on his first at-bat of the day. He's seen a little bit more variety in terms of pitch count, pitch mix here from Irvin.
Well, he's yanked a couple of pitches thus far, so you got to think maybe something soft will work. Try and drop a curveball in the basket here.
Here's the 2-2. The ball fouled back again. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Irvin up to 52 pitches through 3 innings. The golden number we always give is about 15 per inning, so he's a little bit over that now on pace.
Yeah, if I'm Root Chanderdad out coaching third base, I'm way out where he is, 100 feet away to get myself a chance to move because he's yanked a couple already here. A lot of big pitches early on in this game.
Here's the 2-2. That ball once again fouled down the third base line. DeOlio can get the bat on it, just can't get it going straight. So to remind you, it's Mosher on third, Dre Emerald on second, and Fiarda, who was hit by a pitch, he's still on first. Pardon me, that's
Suji.
That's Suji after the fielder's choice. So Mosher was brought off. Emerald now on third. Fiardo, Suji in that order. Low in the dirt. He will make it a full count. 3-2. Nice block.
What a pick by Savage there. He didn't even have a chance to block that. They went hard, and he didn't even have a chance to move his body. He just stuck the arm out and got it on the short hop. Saved a run.
8th pitch between Irvin and DeOlio.
Big battle here early.
Irvin kicks and deals. Well wide off the plate. He'll walk home a run, just as we saw from Ring. 2-1. Now the lead for the Red Sox.
What an at-bat by DeOlio. Pretty impressive.
So that's the 2nd walk for Irvin today, both in this inning.
Now, anything you can do to get Cleveland Brownlee swinging at breaking pitches to pound one into the dirt and try and get a double play here.
Gonna have a quick conference here. Savage and Irvin. 2-1 now the score in the ball game. Top of the third, Irvin at 55 pitches. Similar count for major starter Colby Ring when he comes back.
Yeah, you think about the way this inning has gone down. You know, you started with the walk and then the error and then the hit batsman and then another walk and boom, all of a sudden it's 2-1. And they haven't hit the ball out of the infield. So situation right here where Irvin's stuff looks fantastic. He's able to get swing and miss, but a really good at bat by the major's best hitter, DeOlio. An 8-pitch walk. But you just have to attack here now. You got to go right into attack mode with breaking pitches and try and get Cleveland to hit a ground ball here.
Well, the next 2 bats, both Brownlee and Zdunich, struck out in their first at-bats of the day.
I see the third baseman's in. I'm not sure.
Nice breaking ball right down the middle for strike 1.
I'm not sure I like the corners in here. With the running speed, you have to know your runners at all times here, and the third baseman will have more time to react if he's back and still be able to turn a double play here.
DeOlio, relatively athletic for a catcher. He's out there on first. He's the back of the 3-man train. That ball popped up in the air over the shallow part of the outfield, ranging for it. Brody Black's underneath it. The throw back in home. Won't get there in time. A runner comes in. That is going to be Francisco Fiardo in for his first time today. Make that a run for Amaral, run for Fiardo, and this ball game is tied.
Wow, that was a pretty brave send there by Roop Chanderdat. That was only a 120-foot fly ball, but Brody Black caught that, and you could tell as soon as he released it, based on our vantage point, that the ball was going to be 15 feet to the right of home plate.
Yeah,
So unfortunate he got a pitch there and he got the swing he wanted and got the short shot, shallow fly ball, but risky play, and next thing you know, 2 runs without a hit.
So here's Tucker Zunick. Long windup, but he's ready. Runners on first and second. Irvin, that ball goes a little bit wild. Might have a chance
2.
at the throw to third. Goes to second instead. Bouncing ball played off the glove of Lucas Lefebvre. Luckily, the runner didn't go further. Might have had third, but it would have been a rough spin.
I thought second was the play. It's just he didn't square himself up to make the throw. He had to throw off balance, which made it an awkward-looking kind of soft toss there.
Irvin still got a good shot. He's got 2 outs in the inning. Just needs to retire Zunick.
And a good hitter and Toby Simmons on deck, so this is the guy you got to go after.
Simmons, kind of an archetypal leadoff hitter, should he lead off the 4th. Runners now second and third, 1-0. That ball low, 2-0. Irvin seemed to lose that low part of the zone. He had a spot he was picking in the first and second for all those Ks. Since then, he's lost it a little bit. Here's the 2-0 to Zunick. Swing and miss. 2-1 now.
Yeah, that's the right idea. Attack, attack, attack. You got to get out of this inning without spending a whole lot more pitches.
Tucker knows where Connor Irvin's trying to go. He just needs to make sure he can differentiate ball and strike. Here's the 2-1. That ball well hit out towards center field. Black ranging for it. Comes down. Runner comes in. Another coming around. Black's got another shot. Once again, can't make that throw home. Runners come in. 2 RBIs on the single by Tucker Zunick. The lead now the way of the London Majors. 4-2 for the roadside. And here's Toby Simmons. Going to face a runner on first. The Majors come out of the dugout to congratulate their successful base runners. Simmons, Niles behind him. 2 outs in the inning.
Well, you felt like it was going to happen at some point. They were, 1 hit away from a big inning, and so 4 runs on 1 single, which is,
Less than optimal.
Just a song that's been played far too often in Arnold Anderson this season.
Up ball low for ball 1. No movement yet in the Red Sox bullpen. Only Irvin's 62nd pitch of the game, that last one.
And you go back to that play to Cassidy Watt at first base on the second hitter. If they're able to execute that out,
That ball in for a strike on the low part, 1-1.
then they only give up the 1 run to DeOlio. On the DeOlio walk is the only run they give up there because they got Brownlee on the fly ball after that. So, I don't know if Watt's played first base this year. Certainly not while I've been here anyways. He's played third and he's caught, but I haven't seen him play first. And so those are just plays that, when you get regular guys at regular spots, you get a little more continuity.
The
And,
question is, who is regular at this point for the Red Sox at first base?
Well, that's the other side of it, too, is that, we work on things in preseason.
That ball playable potentially for Ortega. Just barely out of his reach. Fouled off by Simmons. Stays 1-2.
Tough play there. Anyway, just to finish my point, we call them PFPs, pitcher's fielding position. And you work on that in spring training if you're in the major leagues, but these guys don't really have a spring training. They might have a practice or 2, whether or not they did PFPs while they're doing that, but that's all part of it. PFPs are not just practice for the pitchers, they're also practice for the first baseman. And so, when I have a team, we usually only get 2, maybe 3 practices outside in before the season starts. But one thing we do at the end of every practice is make sure we get our PFPs in.
Here's the 1-2. That ball well hit by Simmons. Out towards Tachioka in the left field. Arranging back for it. Underneath it. Makes the basket catch for the 3rd out of the inning. And it was a long inning there, Brian. London puts up 4 on the board. An inning that included 2 walks, an error, a hit by pitch, a fielder's choice. We had everything in that inning.
Yeah, he pretty much covered all the bases there until finally Zdenek finally got a base hit that scored a couple of runs. And so that, like I say, it's symptomatic of the season thus far in the fact that they just have so much trouble putting clean innings together back to back to back. And that was a long inning too. I mean, that was probably a half an hour they were out there, it seemed like anyways. And
So 4-2 now the ball game in the way of the London Majors, but the Red Sox still have a half inning to give to even up this contest. So it's going to be Veyu, Cantor, and Andrew Savage will come back for his second straight inning. That'll be your 3 here for the Red Sox.
so you look at the situation of the last full inning where you had the bottom of the second for Brantford and the top of the third for London. There were only, maybe 2 hits.
Yeah, one
total.
hit for LaFave in the second. And then looking at the third, we had that Tucker Zunick 2 RBI single, and that was it. 2
So
overall.
basically we had 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 base runners.
Yep.
Only 2 hits. And, there was an error made at second base, a tough error, but on a bad bounce, but an error nonetheless on Amaral. And then the error by Watt on the throw on the ground ball there on the Amaral hit. And so other than that, like I said, that just makes for – it just kind of takes the steam out of the game. You're trying to play an entertaining baseball game, but at the end of the day, you've got an inning that lasted probably 30, 35 minutes in which there were only 2 base hits. So it's not as though either pitcher was getting lit up. It's just not clean baseball, and that's something that the Red Sox are going to have to bring next season if they want to make the playoffs.
Here's Jeremy Veyu. First pitch to Veyu. Wide part of the zone, does find it. Colby rings up 0-1. Something I always talk about here with pitchers that lack a little bit of velocity, a little bit of stuff. You always wonder the second time by how batters will face them. That ball goes foul, 1-1 to Veyu.
Yeah, it's important. The challenges for hitters first time around, the challenges for the pitcher the second time around. Now that you've seen that really good breaking ball that Ring has, starting points when you see it come out of the hand.
Right.
As I think I mentioned, if it starts at the belt, you should probably let it go because it's probably going to be a ball. It might even bounce. It's a sharp breaking. It's a really good curveball. He doesn't have that 90-mile-an-hour velo, but when you have really good off-speed stuff, you have to respect it, and it makes the fastball look faster.
You know better than I, but at least to my eye, Ring, he's doing a good job disguising that off speed. Neither really looks too much different out of the hand.
Well, it's a late breaker, and so when you're looking at the velo that he's got on the fastball, it's tough to discern the two until about halfway down.
Veyu, that one fouled straight down. I think they'll call it as such. They will. So stay alive at 0-2. Veyu goes to grab his bat. And on deck is Jacob Cantor.
Just the little things you pick up when you're watching a ball game. Deolio, maybe. I'll get to that in a minute.
Wow, no called strike, and I don't think the dugout was happy for London. That'll be 1-2 now.
I don't know. I'll have to keep watching him, but it almost looks like Deolio's arm is bothering him.
Here's the 1-2 from Ring. Veyu, that ball goes wild off the inside. Oh, he's saying it catches him. Home plate umpire agrees. Good job by Veyu. Gets out of a 1-2 with the hit by pitch.
Yeah, he got him in the thigh there, and doing a batter a favor when you're throwing at him with 2 strikes on you.
So here's Jacob Cantor. He's got a base runner in front of him. Still looking for his first RBI as a Brantford Red Sox. Then another new Red Sox, Andrew Savage behind him. And Graham Tebbett will round us off after that. Veyu on first. Low part of the zone. He finds his spot again. Rings up 0-1.
This might be a time where you maybe put a play on here and try and push the envelope a little bit.
That ball right back at the second baseman. For one, the Amaral, the throw. Fajardo gets it to first. Double play off the bat of Jacob Cantor. Yeah, really good instincts. You're absolutely right. Dre Amaral out there playing second base. He just, that quick twitch instinct, grabs the ball, and there's not that processing moment. He knows right where to go with it. Made the nice throw to Fajardo there.
Well, he got a gravy hop and then the power feed to second, and he knew exactly how far away he was, knows he can use the power feed there. And that is as close to a tailor-made double play ball as you're ever going to see.
So Andrew Savage now. Watch the first ball go by for called strike one. He flew out in the second inning.
I just thought that, seeing as they had stolen 2 bases already off of Ring, I thought maybe they might put a play on there.
Here's still one. Up ball low. Evens it up 1-1 to Savage. 2 outs in the inning. It would have become a long third after the Majors scored 4. That ball catches the bottom again. Ring's finding his spot well. 1-2. Started the ball game off with 5 walks through the first 14 batters. Has not had one since.
Yeah, you were starting to wonder if he was going to make it through 3 innings, to be honest.
That ball wide, even 2-2. Ring has now thrown 68 pitches on the contest.
And that's with all of 5 or 6 thrown in this inning.
Could end the inning here with a strike. See what Savage does. 2-2. That ball just too high. Gives him a full count.
Good take there. That pitch was up a little bit. So now you've got a 3-2 count. Try and get something going again. Get the bottom of the order up.
Remember, Savage hitting 238 this year. That ball right up in the air over the infield. Calling for it was Niles. Now Emerald makes the catch. Retires the side. That'll bring the third inning to an end as the London Majors turn the scoreboard the other way. 2-run lead at the start for the Red Sox. 2-run lead for the Majors by the end. 4-2 the score.
Well, that's unfortunate. They got the leadoff runner on there thanks to a hit batsman. And, you can't help but wonder if they send him on that pitch that I mentioned that Dre Emerald is headed for second base and that ball goes out into right field. But everybody's got 20/20 hindsight in the end. So now it's just what Brantford needs more than anything is a cheap inning pitch count-wise for Irvin. Come out and attack the zone, get the ball put into play, and have a quick inning.
So that's the interesting question because Irvin is typically a good pitch-to-contact guy. Often his stuff low, especially his power low, tends to throw off a lot of hitters. But this London Majors lineup, they seem to have a general understanding, or at least they can see the ball out of his hand well enough to take it for balls. So what do you do if you're Irvin? Knowing what he has in his toolkit, knowing what he has off speed, on speed, what can he do to try to get around more pitch-to-contact?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, he had the 4-pitch walk to the 8-hole hitter last inning, and that's what started everything off. He looked really, really good in the first 2 innings. And just get back to that. Get back to attacking the zone, keeping in mind that this London team does not have a lot of pop, especially at the bottom of the order. Attack, attack, attack. You have to go right at these guys so that when the top of the order comes back around, you don't have the bases loaded like you did with Deolio. It would have been really nice to pitch around Deolio, and only they really wanted to stay around the middle third of the plate with Deolio, except for that resulted in a run scored. And so, that's you've got to really attack the zone and get ahead of hitters. As I mentioned earlier, get ahead, stay ahead, and that's the way you're going to have success in this league, that's for sure.
Niles. Josh Niles, the first baseman. It's going to lead it off for the top of the 4th. 241 hitter on the year. First pitch for Irvin, a little bit too high of the zone. He'll start at 1-0 again.
So, I mean, you got 7, 8, 9, except, last time you started 8, 9, 1. You got 7, 8, 9 up here, and you got to go right at these guys.
Goes at him that time. Fouled off down the third base line. Even 1-1 now for Niles, who struck out in the second inning. Then the gentleman you mentioned a moment ago, Mosher, who, again, has not typically hit well statistically this year, was walked in 4 pitches last inning. It's all about that situational pitching we talked about yesterday with De Los Santos. That ball fouled back. 1-2.
Yeah, exactly. He got ahead, 2 strike counts and then kept leaving balls in the fat part of the plate. And the Welland players don't need much help in that regard, especially the top 4 in that order.
The Jackfish in 1 inning had 5 hitters get a hit on 0-2. That ball a little bit too wide. Niles, I think, thought about the swing. Checked up. 2-2.
Real good take there. This umpire's been pretty consistent, not giving pitches off the plate.
2-2, Irvin to Niles. That ball well hit out to left field. Tachioka's going to range forward for it.
Can of corn.
Gets underneath it. Nice easy catch made by the all-star left fielder. First out of the inning. So here's Ty Mosher, a gentleman who seemed to have Irvin figured out that first time around. We'll see if Irvin can give him something else to look at.
I'm not sure he threw him a strike last at bat, truth be told. So, yeah, I would start him off with strike one here and just get him in swing mode.
First pitch from Irvin does clip the outside corner of the zone. I think that's the furthest he's got a call horizontally.
I was just thinking the same thing. Good call. Good, well spoken.
Here's the 0-1. See if he can find that outside corner again.
I was just going to say, no, now when you got him leaning in, then you bust him in. And now you've got him set up for any number of pitches. You can go up hard, you can go away hard, you can go curveball in the dirt. You got him set right up here.
Best follow-up to a 4-ball walk is a 3-ball strike. Let's see what he's got here. Nope, low in the dirt. That'll be 1-2. Dre Emerald now on deck.
A non-competitive pitch, but again, better, as I said last night, if you're going to miss low, because nobody will hurt you when you miss low. Maybe go back inside with that fastball.
Here's the 1-2. Deals that ball. Sent right to Cassidy Watt. Gloves it well to Irvin. Records the second out of the inning. Dre Emerald will have a shot to get on the board with 2 outs.
That is a much better example of a PFP. He got down there early, gave him a target. Watt squared himself, underhand throw to the pitcher. Very well done. So as we mentioned, prior to this inning, so very important to go right at Amaral now and get 1, 2, 3, get the heck out of there and get yourself a short inning.
That one sent right at the third baseman. Well gloved. Nice play. Makes the play over to first. Nice quick inning. We talked about that's what the Red Sox needed, and they got it there. Nice play by Chris Ortega.
Yeah, very nice play. And, I've seen him play a lot of first base, but I noticed last night while he was playing first, he's got a bit of a hose over there. He's got a good, strong arm. On top of everything else that Chris Ortega does well, he's got a really strong arm as well. So that was just an absolutely critical short inning for Irvin to get him to go deep, especially after they used Klepper last night. The one guy we haven't seen in a little bit is De La Cruz.
Yeah.
So if they can get some runs back in, get back into this game, and get some runs and tie this game up, then they can go to their higher leverage guys. We haven't seen Mejia yet this week. We haven't seen De La Cruz this week. So, in a perfect world, they get a couple of runs, take the lead, get 7 out of Irvin, get an inning out of Mejia, and then bring in Cruz for the 9th. That's the blueprint at least anyways. And so it all starts, I believe, top of the order is up, is it not?
Graham Tebbett, and then we're back to you're absolutely right. Tebbett was retired. It is Lucas Lefebvre, Tachioka, Ortega going to lead off the 4th. Just missed a player there on the old score sheet. So still in the ball game. Colby Ring will come back. I believe he's somewhere in the avenue of high 60s, which through 4 innings he was on rough pace through 2. Kind of got it back in the 3rd. Was pretty efficient, the same way we just saw from Irvin. Let's see how long he can keep himself in this ball game. And as you mentioned, Springer, I believe, is the man warming up in the Majors bullpen, should he be needed. Hopefully all the relievers today are keeping warm. And pardon me, it is Tebbett's going to start us out. So
yeah, double play there.
Double play, then the out by Savage. So it is going to be Tebbett, then Lefebvre, then Tachioka, your next 3. 70 pitches, the number through 3 for Colby Ring. First ball, wide part of the zone for a strike.
Yeah, that's the first one we've seen off the plate being given there. It's a good live pitch. I'm not sure if it's a 2-seamer or whether it's just a live fastball.
Yeah, 1 becomes the 1-1. Low in the dirt. There's been a consistent sequencing of Ring puts something a little bit wide, a little bit high, and then always that second pitch seems to go low. Sometimes in the zone, sometimes for a ball. That one does the same. 2-1 now.
It's an interesting observation. I think you're right. I never noticed that.
It's just got kind of a sequence to him. If only I had the phone number of Aiden Colangelo, I'd let him know. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss there. That one put low. Might have been a strike either way, but 2-2.
Well, that is, like I say, that's a nice curveball he's got there, and so that's why it's so important to when you get an opportunity to hit a fastball, you really need to jump on it.
2-2. Swing and a miss for Tebbets. Got on an error in the second, sat down with a strikeout in the fourth. That's the third of the day for Colby Ring.
Baseman number 8, Lucas Lefebvre.
Lucas Lefebvre, he's 1 for 2 today. Popped out in the first to open up the ball game, then singled in the second.
Well, back to the top of the order now, third go around.
Tachioka now on deck. First pitch high. We'll see if my theory holds true. This one should be low.
Now, third time around with this type of a pitcher is when you really hope that the order can start getting on him a little bit.
Well, that one a little bit higher than the usual order of things. Two fielders coming out to play that ball in play. It'll be Suji, the right fielder, making the easy catch. Second quick out of the inning. Tachioka now up. No base runners, 2 outs.
Left fielder number 14, Ren Tachioka.
So Tachioka, 2 outs. Fresh start for him, and both pitchers, Ring and Irvin, since the start of the third inning, have been getting through the ball game with some urgency. First pitch to Tachioka is low and wide for ball 1. Ortega now on deck, and Tachioka into Ortega, that is a two-man combination that can could score some runs all on its own.
Absolutely, especially, even small ball, a bunt and a stolen base, and then a base hit by Ortega, or a hit and then a bomb by Ortega. We haven't seen him hit a home run in a little while.
1-0, 2-0. It was the throw back from Deolia last time that went wild. That time it's the actual pitch, 2-0. Tachioka's walked in both his at-bats today.
It's
2-1.
somebody else. Sorry, Marshall. That's somebody else warming up in the bullpen now, number 45.
Great. We definitely saw Springer head that way earlier, but he's not the arm warming up.
It's a righty this time.
That ball in low. We get broke late, 3-1 now. Tachioka could be looking for 3 walks and 3 at-bats. His number coming into today was 9. He's now up to 11.
You almost
Make
get
that 12.
You get the impression that he wanted the righty ready for Ortega. I don't know if they have that much of a sense of urgency, but that's the sense I'm getting, is that Roop wanted that right-hander ready for Ortega. But
Number 1, Christian Ortega.
the demeanor of Roop Chandradat right now, walking around with his palms up in the air, tells me that he's frustrated with something, and that's the best thing. Now, I'm only guessing. It's not like I have a pipeline to his brain or anything, but I don't think he was a big fan of Ring facing Ortega for the third time.
Well, that's what he's getting. Either way, Ring's first pitch in for a strike.
They sure start him off with a nice curveball.
Ortega's singled and struck out thus far. 0-1, sent right at the third baseman, gloved cleanly by Mosher. To Amaral, that'll retire the side as Ortega grounds out to count the side out. That's going to bring the 4th inning to an end. We're going to head away to a quick break. We'll be right back after a quick word from our partners to get started for the top of the 5th inning. We'll see if Irvin's still the man on the mound for the Red Sox.
Hard line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Ronald.
And welcome back to Arnold Anderson Stadium. Ready for the top of the 5th inning, as it will be Connor Irvin. Number 20 is going to get the baseball back here to open up this top of the 5th. 76 pitches on the day so far for number 20. And we see warming up in the bullpen. We've ID'd that relief arm, that righty there in the Majors bullpen. That's frequent starter, Jose Arias.
And if I'm reading Roop correctly, I see him coming in for the bottom of the 5th.
Here's Fajardo. Almost stumbles over, I think, thought bunt. Bat said otherwise, but ball 1. Fajardo, Suji, DeOlio. Best bats in the lineup, at least the top 3. We're going to see them in the 5th.
Yeah, a big inning for Irvin here, top of the order up. Get through this clean.
1-0. That ball popped up and foul over our heads. 1-1. Francisco Fajardo, just to remind you, hitting .322 on the season. 12 RBIs. Gets on base quite frequently. Big sample size, 121 at-bats this year. Lots of hits, not turning many into RBIs. Ball off the bat. Back behind us, 1-2.
Yeah, he felt like he could get one down with Ortega back behind third base there.
Strikeout and a hit by pitch that he later scored on. That's Fajardo's day today.
Having said that, he was squaring the bunt when he got hit by that pitch in the second.
Here's the 1-2. Irvin, that one fouled off down the first base line. Count stays 1-2. So Ken Suji on deck. He's at a ground out in a fielder's choice. But DeOlio behind does have a hit. He's got a double. Swing and a miss. Irvin has not had a strikeout since Niles in the second, but he's back on the board, his 5th of the day. Good start to the 5th inning for Connor Irvin. Did it on, I believe, 5 pitches.
Good sequence there where he went off speed and had him out in front on his front foot. Was unable to make contact, foul it off.
Irvin gets a swing and a miss from Ken Suji to open up his second at bat.
Really impressed the way Irvin mixes things up. He can, especially when he's in command of that fastball. Other than that one inning, he's been in total command today.
There's still 1. 1-1, and you bring up a great point there, Brian. I think that is what is so difficult about pitching as a position, especially as a steadfast starting pitcher, is one bad inning is all it takes to throw your day into chaos. We saw that with Devo Santos yesterday. You can't be good through certain innings like hitters can get hot. Yeah, we got to be consistent all the way through. That one, beautiful breaking ball for 1-2.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's you're judged on the total body of work. But again, when you look back, if they execute that PFP, it's a 2-1 ball game.
Sugi grinds that one over to the second baseman. Easy play for Lefebvre. Gets there in time. Second out of the inning.
I always worry when the second baseman, regardless of who's playing, I always worry when they stay back, drop step that big hop. I really would prefer them to charge in and try and take that short hop right off the dirt. It's so inconsistent out in that, what is there, about 15 or 20 feet there.
Well, Eduardo DeOlio's had a day today. Double in his first at-bat, walk in his second. See what Irvin's got for him the third time around. Nice breaking ball. Broke a little too much. Ball 1. You said even your under-22 team from Stratford came here to play and had similar issues at second.
Had a similar bounce there, yeah, absolutely. And I told my guy, I said, if you get a chance to jump on something early, charge the ball.
Ball low again. Irvin trying to find that low spot. Doesn't want to give him much to hit up. Just got to place him a little bit higher. He's got 2-0 here.
Those high choppers can be really problematic specifically, and we already saw the bad bounce on Amaral in the bottom of the second, I think it was.
That ball finally well off the plate as well. Second time we've seen a ball that far wide off a righty. Called for a strike.
That's a pitch you don't see very often. That's a hard slider from Irvin that he doesn't throw that too much.
Cleveland Brownlee on deck.
There.
Ooh. Wow. Gonna have to have missed low. Of course, again, we can't see the perfect vertical from up here, but
I guess it was in. Again, we can't see the plate behind the catcher, folks, so it's not, we just go on what we think we see.
Ball fouled off. Full count, 2 outs. Biggest pitch in baseball. So this is Irvin, who, again, is sped through this inning the way that really the pitchers have since that big third inning offensively for the majors.
Yeah, the bottom of the second and the top of the third, which took at least a half an hour to play, but other than that, we've been kind of trucking right along here. And this is a significant pitch here for Irvin to be able to get out of this and then have Brownlee leading off.
Swing and a miss, sits him down. Strikeout number 6, second of the inning, and you saw just a moment ago that awesome shot from our first base camera. Jose Arias is the man warming up in the bullpen, and you got to think, Brian, we're going to see him joining this ball game right now.
Based on the body language from the manager.
But in good news, the Yankees are losing. Stay connected and never miss a moment of IBL action.
An announcement was just made a moment ago that the Yankees are losing and their respective contest. Of course, we talked about it pre-ball game today. What do you think? It was Nick Kurtz, the gentleman there for the A's. 6 for 6 yesterday, 4 home runs, 19 total bases. Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, wow is really all I can say about that one. And this guy's a rookie. He was only drafted a year ago. He's a 2024 draft pick. And, I guess we're always surprised whenever anybody from Oakland does something.
Yeah.
Just because they're so far off the radar.
Well, they're not even Oakland anymore either.
They're not even, they're like West Sacramento A's.
Sacramento right now.
So, but I think what really impressed me watching the highlights this morning was the fact that 4 of those 6 hits and I think 3 of the home runs were all opposite field.
Yeah.
So he sprayed the ball. The only one home run was he's a left-handed hitter, and he yanked one, I believe was the 3rd home run. It was the 4th hit that he yanked it over the right field fence. But other than that, just about everything else was opposite field and showing amazing power, which I try and tell young people all the time. You don't have to. I mean, everybody likes to have that party out front where you can yank it down the line and hit a big bomb. But, there are so many hitters over the years that will show you that you can hit the ball just as far the opposite way if you let it travel and catch it in the red zone, hit it further back on the plate. Let it travel, trust your hands, and hit that ball the other way with the barrel, and you can hit the ball over the fence to any part of the ballpark. And that young man showed that last night. What an impressive thing. I know, and we were joking off air that I think it was 4 hits for the Red Sox last night and not a lot of walks. So I was trying to do the math on how many total bases that the Red Sox had. It wasn't going to be a whole lot more than 19 that they had last night as a 19. Team. And this guy, darn near matched them all by himself. So, boy, I tell you what, take your hat off and bow, young man.
I tip my hat to is the representatives for the Astros, because his home runs, one was his second at-bat, and then the last 3 were in sequence. He hit the last 4, 5, and 6 at-bats. He hit a home run. Props to Houston for still pitching at him.
Well, the fun thing was that the fact that he was a triple short of the cycle after 3 at-bats.
Right. That's unbelievable.
And instead of hitting a triple, he had 3 home runs.
You should be able to artificially give yourself a triple. You hit the home run, you say, you know what, I'll take third.
Stopping a third and taking the cycle. But, when you're a rookie, you make hay while the sun shines.
So here's Jose Arias. The first pitch he pitches is up over the heads of the
grandstand.
grandstand. Comes down into a seat. Everybody okay. 1 bounces. And a gentleman in the front row makes the catch.
Well, we'll see if he gives it up. Give it to a young attaboy. Give it to a kid. Good job.
Got a free chocolate bar waiting at the snack stand. 0-1. This is Jose Arias.
I don't know. He seems more interested in the baseball than the chocolate bar. Wow.
Good morning, Cassidy Watt. Don't think it caught him, but easily well outside the zone. So Jose Arias, 4.72, refers to 2 of his stats, 47 2/3 innings, and a 4.72 ERA, his numbers. Often a starting pitcher, rare he comes in relief. 37 strikeouts to 21 walks. Cassidy Watt grounds that ball to second. Zamarol gets it to first. Call him Dre Armorall. That was a shiny throw to first base.
And that's kind of what I was referring to in the top half of the inning, where a nice job by Amaral to charge that ball and not let it get an opportunity to bad bounce him.
So the ground out for Cassidy Watt starts off the 5th, the same way the 4th ended for the Red Sox. Last time it was Ortega, and here's Brody Black. He also grounded out in his last at-bat in the 2nd. First pitch from Arias, fouled off and over to the first base area.
He's had a rough weekend so far, Black. I'd like to see him barrel something up here.
Yesterday was leading off. Today's in the 5 spot. See where they put him tomorrow on the road against London. That pitch horizontally had it, vertically was too high. Ball 1. So Black, then Veyu. He's on deck. Black, what a movement on that pitch. That one looked like it was going to Black, came all the way back, right dead center.
That was a real nice breaking ball.
Counts 1-2. In the dirt, Black swings at it. He'll try to leg it out. No luck. So here comes Jeremy Veyu. Strikeout and a hit by pitch his day. Last time was caught by a baseball in the thigh. Hasn't seemed to show any discomfort since then. And then Jacob Cantor up behind him, who's going to look to get on the board after a hot start here at Arnold Anderson in his first start. Since has not registered a hit and has grounded out in both plays today, once into a double play. Arias versus Veyu. Inside, almost gets a second hit by pitch. Veyu's got 10 walks to 24 strikeouts this year. The 1-0. Right down Main Street, strike 1. Arias can place a ball in the strike zone anytime he wants to, seemingly. Question's just going to be the placement with that horizontal breaking stuff. That ball fouled off once again to the first base area. Luckily well shallow of your truck.
Yeah, I'm a little further down today than I was yesterday. I'm not sure makes it less of a chance to hit me, but one that gets hit's probably going to have more velocity on it. So,
swing there. Are they going to say caught the bat? Yes, they will.
Yep, he caught it.
Interesting there. So off the bat, straight into the glove. It's going to be recorded as a fielded out. And that is Jeremy Veyu sat down. So Jacob Cantor will lead us off when we're back in the 6th inning. But until then, we'll see if it's still Irvin, because I've seen a gentleman warming up there in the bullpen. He's since taken a bit of a break.
Yep, another inning for Irvin.
So
I tell you what, through 5 innings, the blueprint of the first 5 innings is very familiar to both teams, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's London is not a team that has a lot of big bats. They scratch and claw for every run they get, and that's what they've done. They had, basically 4 runs on 1 hit. And Brantford, who had opportunities early on to bury the starter, did not take advantage of bases loaded situations in either the first or the second inning. So then you go through those 5 innings, and next thing you know, they're bringing in a good pitcher like Arias, and so now it's going to be a tall order.
So Irvin back warming up, getting ready for the top of the 6th. Then again, similar like we were talking about yesterday with Delos Santos, really 1 inning that has costed him to this point. That 3rd inning, almost every hitter in the lineup except Josh Niles had a go at bat. And since then, quick hitting, fly out, ground out was the 4th, 2 strikeouts and a ground out in the 5th. So that strikeout stuff has come back for Irvin. We'll see if we see that potential for more Ks again in the 6th. Typically a guy in Irvin, as many of our starters are, they come in with a little bit of velocity. I don't think they're necessarily thinking longevity at the beginning. They want to rack up those numbers, and then as that velocity starts to go away, their placement kind of goes with it. It's like in basketball. They say when you lose your legs, you lose your cardio, your stamina. The first thing to go is your jump shot.
Right.
Certain skills are tied together, and I think that's one thing for Irvin. Once he loses that high-end velocity, you start to throw more hittable pitches.
Well, and you generally get up more when your legs are getting tired. The first thing to go usually is the legs, and that means that you get less drive. Your arm will naturally drag behind a little bit. You're not getting the same drive that you did early on in the game. But I will say this, he's retired, I think, 7 or 8 straight.
Yep,
and so, he's on a nice little stretch here, and I think he's shown through the first 2 at-bats. I have all the respect in the world for Cleveland Brownlee, but he is having all kinds of trouble with that breaking ball.
First pitch fooled Brownlee with the slider. That ball low gets him again. Brownlee's down 0-2. Yeah, 7 straight retired. Irvin's throwing 93 today.
I remember 2 years ago when we played these guys in the playoffs. Very unfortunate situation happened in Game 1.
Swing and a miss. That's strikeout number 7 on the day. 2nd to Cleveland Brownlee.
where Cleveland Brownlee got hit by a pitch in the hand by one of our pitchers and was out for the rest of the series. And, even when you're up against Cleveland Brownlee, you feel terrible that a guy like him with his class and his experience gets injured. And so I remember talking to him after the series was over, and he was very upset because he thought he was retiring at the end of that year. Keep in mind, that's 2 years ago now. He was 39 at the time, I think. And he thought he was retiring, so he was very upset. So we're all happy to see him back in the lineup and back in what is one of the more natural things in this world is Cleveland Brownlee.
Finally, somebody gets a hold of a baseball. That one past the second base area. Not in LaFave's range. Stand-up single for Tucker Zunich, his second of the day. The last one went for 2 RBIs in the third.
Sorry, just to finish that thought, one of the more natural things in the world is see Cleveland Brownlee in a London Majors uniform, and we're happy he's back out there. Having said that, the Red Sox are desperate for wins, so we also are happy to not have him on base all day long if that's possible.
Here's Toby Simmons up for the third time today.
Runner
goes. Hit and run. Ball straight into right field as Tebbett plays it off the one hop, gets him off the face. He's got to throw that ball in quick. Roop Shanrock gives him the wave. Runner comes home, not in time. All the way around from third. Simmons advances to second. Zdunich all the way from first, and I cannot believe the misplay, the misfortune out there in right field. Tebbett takes the bounce off the chest, gets him up into the face, plays it, and can't quite get the throw home to Savage.
Well, there's a lot to decompress there, isn't there?
Break down, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, a ground ball out there, and I assume that he was charging it that hard to, with the possibility of a play at third base because the runner was going with the pitch. Unfortunately for Connor Irvin, he hung a slider there and gave Toby Williams a chance to hit that ball, which was a perfect situation. The double whammy there, the bad bounce that got Tebbett up in the face area, went back and picked it up, but threw it to the cutoff man before he looked what was going on, because as soon as I saw that play, I was looking at third base, and they were waving. Roop was waving him home right away. So that's one where you just got to throw it straight home instead of throwing it indirectly to the guy standing at second base there, who was lined up for a cutoff to what was assumed to be the play would be third. That's when you need the first baseman to drop down there and be ready for a throw that's coming home. But the throw went into second base anyway.
Irvin, after that mound visit, very next pitch, hit out in the air by Niles, comes down. Nobody can get to it. Tebbett will try to throw home again. It's going to be caught in the middle there by Cassidy Watts. Shanderot holds his his base runner this time. It was Simmons who will stay at third. That's Josh Niles in for a stand-up single. That's 3 straight singles for the London Majors in the 6th. And just had that Connor Irvin mound visit. I see Francisco Mejia warming up there in the bullpen for the Red Sox. So runners now on the corners for Ty Mosher.
So now you've got a situation here, don't you? You've got one out. You're going to have the corners in, hoping for a ground ball up the middle to turn a double play. The ball goes to the corner infielders. Good runner in Williams. Won't be easy to nail at the plate.
First pitch to Mosher. Finds the bottom corner. Strike 1.
So it's a couple times now that Irvin's gotten up a little bit. Just double checking the pitch count
99.
there. And so, yeah, you can tell he's getting a little flagged because the ball is up more often than it has been.
That ball in the dirt. His 100th pitch. He's hit triple digits.
To be honest, I am a little surprised that London isn't running again. They may yet.
Yeah, Josh Niles, taller first baseman. Skinnier first baseman, though. See what he's got for wheels. Shows bunts. Bunts foul. 1-2.
Safety squeeze there. I think they're thinking the same thing I am. One more run by London, and it's going to be real tough for Brantford to come back. That's a very significant run out at third base there. So now you've got 2 strikes on him. Even at 100 pitches, you hope he's got that good sharp breaking ball to get us. He could really use a strikeout here.
Here's the 1-2. That ball fouled, just catches the netting, comes straight down into those bats that have been a subject to controversy all year.
Well, I'm just glad we have some clarity there on how they're playing that.
So Mejia, we know he's warmed up in the bullpen, should he be needed. Hoping Irvin can make his way out of the inning. 1-2, that ball straight to second for 1. Perfect time for a double play. Cassidy Watt finishes it off. Ty Mosher, second ground out of the day. First time for a double, and that is what Connor Irvin and the Red Sox needed.
Under the category of turnabout is fair play, that's the identical ball that Dre Amaral got to turn a double play earlier in this game. And so, yeah, a big exhale from Connor Irvin there. Probably the last we'll see of him, if I had to guess.
So Jose Arias will be back, and he made quick work of that 5th inning. Ground out, strikeout, ground out. His first inning of work. It's going to be Cantor, Savage, Tebbett that we'll see. So the bottom of the order here for the Red Sox. Take a look, I think the ball game around the league, that Chatham Kent game, is just about to kick off around the IBL. And then the other 2 contests, not until 6 and 7:30 respectively. Late start time in those contests. Chatham Kent at Barrie, to clarify, is that game starting in 20 minutes. Toronto at Welland, who we again played last night, got the win against us. That game's in Welland. It's going to start at 6:05, and then it's Hamilton on the road against the Guelph Royals at 7:30. If you're watching the playoff hopes here for the Brantford Red Sox, well, our main rival, Kitchener, does not play today, but don't forget, after tomorrow's road contest against London, we then play them on the 31st. Actually, let's bring up the schedule ahead if we can for your Brantford Red Sox. We'll take a look. This is after tomorrow's home-and-home second half against London. Again, that game in London tomorrow, July 27th. But looking ahead, it's then that game in Kitchener at Jack Couch Park. That's this Thursday. That's a massive contest. That could more or less put that one out of reach if the Kitchener Panthers take that game, because it would give them the head-to-head on the year. Past that, Chatham Kent, Hamilton, Welland, and Barrie. We don't play a team less than 17 wins currently to this point on the year, the rest of the year after Kitchener. We got some big opponents, but again, favorably, most of them at home.
Yeah, and you know, I don't want to sound pessimistic, but frankly, I think that you're almost to the point where you need to start working toward next year. 7 games is a lot to make up. You always want to try and remain as optimistic as possible, but you know, they need 7 wins when they've only got 6 in the first 30 games.
I think my response to that would be really, I think the only thing besides, I guess, some pitching concerns, some defensive concerns, I think the thing we do need to learn for next season is how to win ball games that you outplay the other team in. And I think that will naturally, if we can start to execute better, will naturally commit itself to winning. I think it's a kind of a double-edged proposition there. We'll see.
Well, I mean, 2 major things that have happened thus far this weekend through the first 14 innings of this weekend is the defense has not been good, and their situational hitting has been about as good as their fielding. And that's as nicely as I can say that. You know, 3 times bases loaded, 1 out, 3 times striking out looking. They need guys to step up. The whole batting order, to be honest with you, seems to be in a bit of a funk. They're like the order, hitting is contagious, and everybody at every level will say that. And so there's just not enough guys getting on base and hitting the ball to maintain a rally and put a crooked number up. And in this league,
they appeal the first. No swing, he says. 3-1 now the count to Jake Cantor.
I've said many times on this broadcast, this is a hitter's league. Some of the best pitchers in this league are pitching to a 5 ERA. And that's just the way it is. And, you know, you've got to be able to string hits together to have success in this league, and they just haven't been doing that.
Out towards the center fielder and the right fielder. Toby Simmons, the center fielder, will take it. 3-1, unfortunately, turns into a flyout. Jacob Cantor still 0 for 3 on the day.
So, and I wonder how much of that has to do with the absence of Paulus, who has spent a lot of time either as the number 1 or number 2 hitter in this lineup. He and Tachioka, back-to-back lefties, have been a nightmare for pitchers up to this point. and they're just not getting that same spark. So you look at an Ortega who is still the same guy. It's just, but there's nobody protecting him. And so he's not seeing as many fastballs, as many good pitches as he was seeing earlier in the season.
4 balls and 6 pitches to open up the 6th inning for Arias. This time he faces Savage. 0 for 2 on the day. That ball well hit out towards the left field, center field area. Ranging out towards the fence is Zadunich. And he'll get under it. 2 flyouts to kick off the 6th inning.
Well, that's probably the best swing we've seen out of Savage this weekend.
So here's Graham Tebbett, and we often talk about kind of the, I don't want to use the term futility, but how the bottom of the lineup really just can't roll over what the middle of the lineup produces for the Brantford offense. Today's game, the bottom 3 in the lineup, only batter to get on base was Tebbett, who got on an error. To be fair, did later have a run. But other than that, 0 for 8, the bottom 3 in the lineup other than that.
Well, I mean, what did they get, 2 hits?
Overall, yep.
They got 2 hits. They only had 4 last night, so you're looking at 1 out shy of 15 innings, and they've got 4 hits on the weekend. So, or 6 hits, excuse me, on the weekend. And that just, that doesn't cut it.
That ball wide again.
And keep in mind the pitching that they've seen. It's not like they saw any of Welland's best 3.
Yep.
They haven't seen, up until Arias came out, they didn't see either one of London's best 2. You didn't get, they got Howitt last night coming out of the bullpen.
Who's a good arm?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, who is probably their second best reliever after Mendez.
Arias' 20th pitch, hit well. Nice play by Simmons. A little jump catch there out in center field. Tebbett, good speed off the bat, but that's 3 flyouts in the bottom of the 6th.
It's just nice to see somebody barrel up there. It's been a while. It seems like forever since the last guy barreled up a pitch. So
when the lineup flips back, we'll be ready for the top of the 7th. Mercifully, a relatively quick ball game compared to what we saw yesterday, because the heat, like I said, with the sun not coming down, it really sticks, it really lingers. And unfortunately, as you said, Brian, we don't really get a wind here in the commentary booth. We're covered from every direction but the field. So we're doing our best. I want to take a moment, perfect time then to talk. We want to thank our crew there, all of our cameramen, our similarly very hot directors sitting in the booth next to me. Everybody is trying to survive the heat today, and they're doing a great job. Thank you to our entire crew here, Brandon, Ryan, and Sebastian, and everybody along the way that makes these broadcasts possible, sticking it out here on a rare Saturday of baseball, the first and only Saturday game of the year for your Brantford Red Sox. More conventional Sunday contest, although the rest of the year, every Sunday, that'll be a home game through to the season ending on August 18th against the Hamilton Cardinals. So some rare Saturday action, and again, around the league, every game going to start at a different time today. Here's Mejia. Leandro Mejia, pardon me. I believe I called him Francisco earlier. We haven't seen him in a little bit. That may be why the first name's not fresh off the dome. He has not pitched in a little while, was borderline an everyday closer earlier on in the year. He'll pitch today in relief in the 7th inning.
yeah, I think back to he pitched against London up in London when the Majors walked off Brantford. He pitched the 9th inning in that game after he walked Amaral and gave up a double, and I can't remember who hit that walk-off double. He's got a big arm, throws hard, got a good secondary pitch. It's just he struggles with control sometimes.
So here's a peculiar profile for you statistically here for Leandro Mejia. So he's played in 7 games. He's pitched 11 innings overall, 1.63 ERA. He's only allowed 2 earned runs through those 11 innings, only 3 hits, but he's allowed 4 runs because he's got 10 walks to 10 strikeouts.
That's, that was, I was trying to be kind of nice about the fact that he's struggling with control, but I mean, they were up a run. He was coming in for a save situation in London, and Dre Almiral, I've said many times, I love the kid, and, he's a wizard with the bat, but he's not a guy that you walk. You have to go right at him and throw strikes. Walked him on 4 pitches, and then the next hitter come up and hit that double, and then the bad throw caused the walk-off. So in the end, like I say, there's just too many things going on that are detrimental to the possibility of winning ball games that are causing Brantford to be languishing in the position that they're in.
One of the keys to keeping this game to only a 3-run deficit here for the Red Sox has been how well the Red Sox pitchers have handled the top two, Fajardo and Suji. We'll see them both this inning. They are a combined 0 for 6. The only batter to get on base was a hit by pitch earlier for Fajardo. So we'll see how Mejia handles them, but you're absolutely right. Trey Emerald up. Final hitter in the lineup, third time today.
And that big inning that they had when they scored the 4 runs, the 3 guys on with a walk, an error, and a hit batsman. And that was 8-9-1.
First pitch of the day for Leandro Mejia. On the inside, good power.
Yeah, he throws into the 90s, but again, he's just not always sure where it's going. And makes for a very uncomfortable at bat. As you could see by that first pitch there where he straightened Emerald up with a pitch up and in. That was probably 91 or 92.
Here's the 1-0. That one low in the dirt, just low of the low zone, ball 2. And here's an interesting question. Not to perpetuate that he will. Certainly hope he doesn't hit a batter. But when you're facing a pitcher, a little bit worried about placement, you don't know exactly where they're going to put it. Are you trying to keep out of your head as a batter the potential it might catch you, especially a fastball like that?
You hate those at bats. You really do, because you can't get comfortable at all in there because you just never know if one's going to come at your melon. And there have been plenty of pitchers that have gone into the major leagues who have gotten the description of effectively wild. If you think back to the 90s, Phillies closer Mitch Williams, they called him the wild thing. And he would get, he was one of the better closers when he could throw strikes. But, effectively wild meant that you sometimes had no idea where the ball was going. You threw really hard, had good stuff, very hard to hit. But at the end of the day, it was tough for him to throw 2 straight strikes. And so that's how he got the nickname, the wild thing. And that's how they described him, effectively wild. And, I've seen many, many pitchers just like that. I got one throwing for my team. Currently, he's a first-year kid, 18 years old, throws mid-80s, but it's tough to get 5 innings out of him because it's hard for him to throw 2 strikes at once.
Sits him down. Mejia's on the board with the Red Sox staff's 8th strikeout of the day. That one to Trey Emerald. Yeah,
see, if he could throw that kind of control, he's going to be a power arm. He's a guy that is at least as effective as De La Cruz. The difference between Mejia and De La Cruz is De La Cruz throws strikes, more strikes than balls. Mejia, though, like I say, if he ever gets it to the point where he throws more strikes than balls, he will be a very effective pitcher.
Well, if you look at his ERA, 11 innings, 1.53.
Reminds me of a similar guy. His name was Ken Giles. He was a closer for years with Houston. It routinely would throw 28, 30 pitch innings, face 6 batters. Nobody would put the ball in play. He'd walk 3 and strike out 3. He had untouchable stuff, but he couldn't throw strikes with it very often.
That ball well struck past the second baseman. Lefebvre can't get a play on it. Tebbett will throw it back in. Stand-up single. Fajardo on the board with his first hit of the day.
So the other side of control is not just throwing balls, but throwing balls over the middle of the plate to top-of-the-order hitters who can handle 90-mile-an-hour fastballs, such as the guy who's now on deck in Diolio. And you make a mistake on a fastball to him, and he'll be taking branches off of that old maple tree on the other side of the left field fence.
Well, Ken Suji. A double play would end the inning, and he's grounded out twice so far today. First pitch in wide for a ball. Yeah, 2 ground outs on the day so far. A combined 7 for the entirety of the majors. Only 1 into a double play. That was Mosher last inning. The 1-0 wide again. 2-0. Runner goes. Great throw and great tag. Awesome throw by Andrew Savage to catch Fajardo at second.
Well, that is a carbon copy of what happened last night in the Welland game. That was a delayed steal as well. But all he had to do was slide, and he was in there safe.
Great point. Not only the throw, but the fact that he the way the fielder was set up there behind second, he nailed that throw right on the dot that he could get the quick glove swipe across.
Well, great tag too, but he could only do that tag. And, I'm just looking down at the body English of his manager over at third base there, wondering what on earth happened. Did he just...
That's strike 1 there, 2-1.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else caught that, but the umpire rung him up like it was strike 3 when it...
I mean, if he says strike 3, it's
when
strike
it was
3.
only strike
I'm not
1.
one to question the umpire.
Oh, I'm not going to be too critical of him because I've been there. I've done that. You know, you do your, chainsaw or whatever you want to call it. And then you stop and go, oh, boy, don't I look like a dummy?
Maybe he thought better of the previous ball calls, turned it around.
Well, and maybe he put the count up prior to, because it was a 2-0 count. Maybe he said 0-2. I have no idea. Again, I have no idea why I did it, so I'm not going to presume to know why he did it.
2-2. Deolio strikes out. 2 for Mejia in the inning, and he'd better send a Christmas card to Andrew Savage. That caught stealing on Fajardo was lethal.
Well, that and to Fajardo as well, who, like I said, all he had to do was slide. He was safe there. I know the look of a manager when he wonders what the heck just happened there. There's a stance and a look that you get because you could take a picture of me occasionally have that same stance. And there goes Roop, and he's still got a smile on his face, wondering what on earth happened there. All he had to do was slide, and he was safe. And
so, quick correction. Ken Suji was the one that struck out. We were one behind in the order because of the caught stealing. I was just told by my very own dad, who's sitting there in the audience, the rain has kicked off. Droplets starting here at Arnold Anderson, which we knew was going to be a concern about 4 o'clock today. The weather forecast was right. We've hit the 7th inning. This ball game will be official. So if you're Roop Shandarat in the London Majors, similar to what we had a couple weeks ago, I think that was the Barrie game on Friday. It was either Barrie or Hamilton. Once the ball game is starting to rain towards the end, you're looking for that game to finish up quick if you're the top side.
Yeah, and that was an interesting one because we saw a few drops, but when I leave here, I drive north to the 403, and by the time I got 3 or 4 blocks from the stadium, there were puddles and the road was soaked, and you could tell that they got a good rainfall, maybe a half a kilometer to the north of us. So we got lucky that day. So hopefully we can get through this one because that would be a real shame to get this far into the game and then get a rain delay.
So if you're today's manager, Aiden Colangelo, are you more or less telling your offense here at the bottom of the 7th for Brantford, treat this like the 9th inning because you don't know how much more baseball we're going to get?
Well, yes and no. The reason I say no is because I don't want the weather to dictate what's going on. I don't want you to change your approach at the plate.
Okay.
But the yes part is very simply put that you almost have to start treating every inning as a 9th inning.
Right.
You need to start manufacturing runs. One thing they are not doing right now is they're not manufacturing runs. They got the big breaks early on where the guy, Ring walked 5 guys in the 2 innings. And only got a couple of runs off of that. And like tonight's score line looks very similar to last night's where they got a single run in the first, a single run in the second, and then the visiting team threw up a crooked number after that.
Ball well hit. Out to the center field area. Simmons will field right under it on the first pitch to Lucas Lefebvre. That's 4 straight flyouts for the Red Sox.
Yeah, and that was another well-hit ball by Lefebvre that he didn't get rewarded for.
We talked about a bit of a slump for the Red Sox offense. Besides one ball, that is now 13 of 14 batters retired by the London Majors. And that stat doubles for both the starter, Colby Ring, all the way into Jose Arias.
Well, like I said, take away half those walks, and Brantford's got nothing.
Shows bunt. Inside corner for a ball 1.
Tachioka's such a good bunter. You have to respect that, and the fact that he's now – you got Mosher right in on the grass. You can just slap one past him. There was that outside pitch that he could have done that too. He is a very selective hitter. He didn't like that one.
Nope. Quick word with home plate umpire Ben Mercier.
That's about as animated as Ren gets up there.
Swing and a miss. I don't think you were on the call. I think it was actually myself and Brandon Barnard. But we had a bat flip against Welland in one of our Rogers TV games we called. Rare moment of excitement there for Ryan. Typically a pretty even keel guy, but bat flipped a home run earlier this year. That ball fouled right, kept straight into the third base line. Can't make a play on it. That was Mosher. Couldn't get the glove in. Stays fair. Tachioka, though, caught loose the wild ball. Where was that going? He's coming around second. He's all the way to third. Oh, my goodness. 2 different opportunities by London Majors fielders could have made that either a ground out or a runner held at first. Instead, Tachioka all the way to third.
Well, 2 things there. Number one, I want to go back to my earlier thought about the fact that you are able, when you can bunt like him, you make the third baseman come in on the grass, and then you can slap it by him, which is exactly what happened there. If Mosher is back where he is now, he fields that ball. He at least knocks it down. And worst case scenario, Tachioka's still at first base. Two things there, and on the thought on the throw. Number one, I talked last night about my feeling on overthrows. They are just absolute killers.
Strike one.
Overthrows. Having said that, I like to see my first baseman come back and back that throw up. It's not something that happens a lot at this level. You just don't expect overthrows and bad throws at this level very often.
That ball hit by Ortega. That should be a fly out to either right field or Dre Amaral, who makes the play. He drops the ball. Dre Amaral, his rare mistake on defense. Tachioka's home. His second run of the day as Ortega's on first base.
Well, I just can't believe that the right fielder didn't call him off there. He was there standing there, and he's heading toward the plate. At the very least, you make that catch, your momentum is taking you away from the plate. Tachioka was tagging up, and I think that's probably why Amaral dropped the ball, because he knew that he was going to have a play. Very similar to what we had a couple innings ago when they had that short fly ball that London tagged up on for their fourth run in the third inning.
Well, all of a sudden, Brian, we got ourselves a ball game. 5-3 now the deficit for your Brantford Red Sox.
And my man, Roop Chanderdad, is an animated fella, and he is over there being animated. He is very upset the fact that you had a single and a pop-up, and somehow Brantford scores a run out of that. You take a team that is virtually moribund. They're absolutely slumping. There's no life whatsoever, and then you hand them a run like that. And I think if I could quote my partner, it's like we're playing ourselves.
I lose sleep every night that I said that a week ago against Barrie. 0-1 becomes 0-2. Nice pitch by Arias. So Cassidy Watts go to Ortega in front of him after what will be chalked up, I'd imagine, as a fielding error. So Ortega on first. Brody Black should get his cuts in, provided Watt does not ground into a double play. Knock on wood.
Watt really didn't like that call. That's probably as far out as the strike zone has gone all day. I do believe that the umpire has called a good game to this point. Every once in a while, you get a call that goes against you, and that was one of them.
Can't please everybody. Here's the 0-2. Watt gets a bat on that one. Once again, same spot. Amaral plays it again. That time makes the easy catch. Yeah, you got to think Cassidy Watt, he was arguing the zone a little bit. He had understood it today to that point because he led today off back-to-back walks. Since then, ground out, fly out. And here's Brody Black, a gentleman who also started with a walk in the first. Since then, has grounded out and struck out. And theoretically, a tie ball game could be on his bat here. Second on the team in RBIs. And 3 home runs to go with him.
Well.
Oh,
ow.
Right back in the face of DeOlio. Hopefully he's all right. He's going to walk it off. Roop Chanderdad out to check on him.
So you want to be a catcher, do you, son? That hit him right in the shoulder, on his catching shoulder, I think. You can throw any amount of padding you want on there, but when a guy throws at 90 and it just foul tips right into the shoulder, there's no padding that can help you.
Sometimes I tell people in my life, I'd love to play, just casual men's league baseball at some point. I always wanted to play as a kid. And they ask, what position would you play? And I say, maybe catcher. And they stare at me like I have 4 heads. And that's part of the reason why.
I have 2 knees, an elbow, and other various parts of my body that regret every inning I ever caught, to be honest with you. To me, it was the best position to play because you're involved in every play. There wasn't anywhere else. As a junkie, I didn't want to stand out in right field and wait for 3 innings for some action.
0-2, 2 outs to Black. Black gets a bat on that one, sends it right out to the first base area.
I tell you what, that is one shallow outfield. That right fielder and maybe the center fielder are probably as shallow as any outfield that I have seen in my time here doing these games. A shot to the gap will most assuredly score a run.
Oh, catches the bat. Does.
And DeOlio got a piece of that one, too.
Yeah, does keep it in front of him.
Having a day.
Yeah, I think you could put Usain Bolt at right field right now. If that ball gets in the warning track, that's coming down no matter what. No fielder's getting there with a such a shallow approach. 0-2, 2 outs. Brody Black and Veyu on deck should he be needed.
Yeah, Brody Black really needs to battle here.
Here's the 0-2. Arias Black chops that one over towards Fajardo. It's actually going to be Mosher who plays it and misplays it. No throw attempted. Black's on first.
Yeah, no chance there with that one. That was just a perfectly placed nubber. A swinging bunt, as it were. And Mosher had no chance to get a Brody Black who runs really well. So the one thing that I've really liked about what I've seen out of Jeremy Veyu, he's had some clutch hits thus far for this team. And I tell you what, can't think of anything more clutch than finding a hole and send one out to the outfield here and making this a 5-4 ball game.
So could have the run that gives the Red Sox the lead on his bat here for Veyu. He's certainly got base runners in front of him, but he's also got 2 outs on the board.
And again, a very shallow outfield, and that's the big difference between tonight and last night. The Welland outfield played very deep. Last week, the Barrie outfield played really deep.
First ball and low for strike 1 on Veyu.
But clearly, the London outfielders don't believe they're going to knock one over their head.
2 errors in the inning for the Majors defense. Swing and miss there for Veyu. Big at bat here. If he wants to give the Red Sox a shot to take the lead here in the early stages of this rain approaching part of the ball game.
One thing I should say about the shallow infield is that Williams, we watched him track the ball earlier in the game and had no problem tracking down a ball and went almost to the fence.
Ooh. Wow. Gonna have to reset. DeOlio was a couple steps to the bench, but Mercier won't give it to him. 1-2.
I thought it was up personally, but I can be accused of being somewhat biased.
Nobody can tell you don't know how to umpire. 1-2.
Some have tried.
I'm sure some batters. And swing and miss. Should be an easy throw. Yes, it is. That'll end the inning. They'll leave 2 runners on in the London Majors defense. 2 errors allowed. That kind of weird non-throw moment by Amaral and a ball that just got in the gap there was. I was going to bring it up. Kind of, we get to an interesting point where rain's not really coming down at a super meaningful level, but the field conditions get harder and harder, especially the infield to play as the rain comes down.
Roop is holding court here. You can't see it on our screen, but just off the screen to the right, Roop is holding court with several members of his defense, making sure we don't have a recurrence of the nonsense that happened in that inning. Like I said, the couple things here is just you've got to keep your brain moving. And, like I said, several things there that I would point out. Number one, there's really no reason to hammer a throw to second base to overthrow there. There was no play at second base. You weren't trying to nail a guy. It's one thing when you overthrow a base when you're trying to get an out, but there wasn't even anybody headed that way. It was just a garden variety single that was hit. So he could have bounced it 6 times to second base, and it was a nothing play. So that's number one. But number two is that first baseman is sitting there doing next to nothing, and it's nothing for him to just float out from his position at first, float out onto the grass to meet the line of the throw coming in and back that throw up. If he does that, again, no runs are scored. Moreover, a pop fly, I notice in the higher levels, and it happens a lot in the major leagues, balls that go out into the outfield where an outfielder could call an infielder off, an infielder calls the ball and takes it anyway, which I've always thought a little strange. I mean, they're major league players. They're not going to drop that ball. You hit 1,000 to them, they're going to catch 999 of them.
Right.
But that particular situation where you're roughly 120, 130 feet away from the plate with the fastest runner on Brantford at third base, I really was surprised that the right fielder didn't take charge and take that ball.
Yeah.
As good as Dre Amaral is as a fielder, I mean, like I said, same thing. He's going to catch 999 out of 1,000 of those. And but the right fielder is moving toward the plate, and his momentum is heading toward the plate, has a better chance to throw somebody out at home if the guy decides to run. So I thought that fundamentally that the wrong guy was catching the ball. So if you get a drop, that's what cost him the run.
It's an interesting case as we see Eduardo De Olio here to open up the really the power part of the London Majors lineup here, going to hit in the top of the 8th against Leandro Mejia. First pitch right down Main Street. De Olio backs off it, and it's in for a strike. But I was going to say, to the point about like kind of defensive confidence, a great defensive fielder who has the kind of maybe overconfidence to make a play that would be higher percentage for another player. It's just the reality is sometimes the best fielder doesn't always need to make the play if somebody's got a better shot. The statistics say Steph Curry, the greatest three-point shooter of all time, has a lower percentage than Shaq taking a free throw. And it's not what you'd think, but sometimes the easy play, if that's all you need, sometimes the less experienced fielder should be the one to take it.
No, you're absolutely right. It's the right guy for the job, and if you don't trust him to catch a fly ball, what's he doing out there in the first place? Like I said, it's just a shock that he dropped the ball knowing Dre like I do.
So second inning here of work for Leandro Mejia. Had 2 strikes, and then Savage got him a caught stealing to record the third out in the 7th. Here's the 1-2 to De Oleo. Oh, over his head. That's the fear we talked about a little bit earlier as a batter.
That is, yeah, that's 90 mile an hour coming right at your pumpkin.
And remember, De Oleo just caught a ball
who
tipped
just got a
off the
foul
dome.
tip off his same shoulder he might have got hit. You know, he's exposing that same shoulder to the pitcher here, and you don't wear any padding on your shoulder. Some guys wear one on their legs, some guys wear one on the elbow, but he doesn't wear any that I could see.
Here's the 2-2. Make that 3-2.
And another one up tight, and Dale just, he would rather be anywhere right now than in this batter's box.
If there wasn't a stigma against it, he'd be wearing a welding mask at the plate right now.
I tell you, it's reminds me of a all-star game years ago. Larry Walker facing Randy Johnson, left-handed batter, left-handed hitter, except these are 2 righties here.
Full count.
He is a scary dude to face, man.
Oh, off the bat, into the road dugout that we've talked about all year is weirdly a magnet for foul balls.
Another one, yeah, that's the 3rd or 4th one this weekend. It's headed in there.
Never go in the home dugout, do they?
No, and the lefties never seem to do the same thing.
A lot of lefties tend to be better, contact kind of push hitters. 3-2. Inside, easy walk there for Eduardo De Oleo. Finally gets it, and a big bat toss.
And just happy as all get out to not be in the batter's box anymore.
Well, unfortunately, subjected Cleveland Brownlee, the next man up to take the risk. Eduardo De Oleo is
Pinch
second
hitter?
walk of the day. You're absolutely right. We'll get you an ID, new bat coming in for Cleveland Brownlee. It's number 39 there for the London Majors. That's Adrian Harrison. Let's see what Harrison's got on the stat sheet. Adrian Harrison hitting 209, small sample size, 43 at-bats for him on the year, 7 strikeouts to 4 walks, 1 home run, though, and 4 RBIs. Yeah, Brownlee hasn't quite had the go of things today, so they'll try something different with Harrison. Harrison shows bunt, in for a strike.
I'm not sure what happened there. He had the bat out, and then the pitch was up and in, and that was kind of weird.
Sometimes it looks like there's a mental disconnect where players know they want to show the pitcher a bunt, but forget that they're actually intending to do it.
But again, facing this guy, crash, crash, crash.
Oof. A little bit up high. That one in to even the count. Ball 1. Provided they don't substitute, Tucker Zdunich should be next on deck.
If he gets it out that early, I expect Ortega to be 30 feet from him when the ball gets laid down.
Ball in low for Mejia. That's 2-1.
These are the frustrating at-bats for the manager on the defensive side. There's a guy who's giving himself up. You're able to crash down there, and you've got a catcher on first base, so it's certainly within the realm of possibility that you can get the out at second here. Ortega's right on top of him. He's got a really strong arm, too.
That one goes foul. Ortega's so close he can probably tell you what deodorant Harrison's wearing. He is really trying to close in there for the potential bunt.
Now with 2 strikes, that's it's a tough assignment. Get brought in off the bat. Been sitting there for better part of 2.5 hours watching the ball game. You got to come in and bunt off a guy who's all over the place sometimes.
Swinging strike there. Sits down Harrison. At 4 spot, 3 strikeouts on the day today between Brownlee and Harrison. He puts it the first out on the board for the top of the 8th, does Mejia. It's his 4th K of the day through 3 innings. Tucker Zdunek back up here for the 3rd time. 2 singles for him, one of which he scored a run on. The other 2 were 2 RBIs.
Well, like I say, when Mejia throws strikes, he's a bad man up there, man. He's so intimidating.
On deck is Toby Simmons. First pitch in the dirt. Good job by Savage to block that one. Keep the runner on first.
He's just a little tough to watch because he just, you know, if you're a fan of the team or a manager or whatever, he's just a tough dude to watch because he will rarely go strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. Usually it's a little more of an adventure. And there's a really interesting matchup coming up with Toby Williams on deck, who we know can hit the hard fastball. A left-handed hitter. Should be a really, really good matchup.
Here's the 1-0. Make that 2-0, low in the dirt. Shandarok gives props there to Zdunek for laying off that one.
At this point in the ball game, you think Cruz is in play now as well. Brantford does have somebody throwing there, although we can't see from here. I don't know if you can.
Ball in again for another ball, 3-0. I see 2 arms there in the bullpen.
Pretty sure that's Cruz. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 37. That should be Jorge De La Cruz. So we will see De La Cruz. Same with Mejia. 3-0. Finally in for a strike. Keeps Zdunek on us, 3-1. So we're going to see 2 relievers today we haven't seen in quite a while, and they could be pivotal if the Red Sox offense is able to bring this ball game back in the late stages.
And nothing going on in London's bullpen. You got to think Arias is going to finish this game off.
Out ball wide, ball 4, second walk of the inning.
Well, you can't let this go on too far. You got gifted a run last inning. You got 6 outs to go.
You kind of talked about it a little bit before. Think of a slider between control and velocity. I think Jorge De La Cruz is he's Mejia, a little bit more shifted to that control range. A little bit less in the straight-up velocity, straight-up stuff column. But
Colangelo's out to the mound here. I'm not sure we're in a situation where he'll pull him or not. I know if Cruz is ready, I would, but I'm not running the ball club.
I mean, we've talked about it a little bit where, you know, Mejia, when the placement's there, when he has his spot and he kind of gets in a, you know, physical groove where he can feel it.
What a strange thing that is there. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, it's good.
Just to watch Williams walking halfway between the plate and the mound there, almost like he was trying to listen in on the conversation.
Huh.
I'm not really sure. That was a
guaranteed mound visit. I mean,
well, it's just unique. I've never seen the batter, like he walked right out of the cutout halfway to the mound there.
Huh.
Never seen that. I don't know what he was hoping to accomplish.
All right, runners on first and second for Toby Simmons. First pitch inside.
Oh, nice.
Another nice block by Savage. Runner
Yeah, it sure was, man. That was keeping in mind when you're throwing 90, you got no time to move the body and block it. It's just pick it with the glove and under the category of hack and hope, I suppose.
Savage has put some good tape out there this weekend as a defensive catcher.
He sure has. Strange that the corners are in here. I'm not sure what they're in for. I don't know if they're expecting Williams to bunt.
And that's strike 1. 1-1 now to Toby Simmons, who, yeah, hasn't bunted today. I don't even think showed bunt, but does have a single last time up. 1 for 3.
Well, I mean, and you're bunting with 1 out into the bottom third of the order, which doesn't make much sense.
That ball sent over the way of the first baseman. Rules foul. 1-2. So, yeah, we got currently on Deolio and Zdunek. Zdunek, one of the bigger fielders you'll see, so not the speediest.
Yeah, this is not what you consider speed on the base pass with the catcher and Zdunek. So, I mean, like I said, I don't know why you're thinking bunt here. There's 2 strikes on now, too. So I'm not really sure why he's playing inside especially on the left side there.
Right.
That's where you're going to play for the double play, I would have thought.
Some fan support in the chat for Simmons. 1-2. Inside. Luckily, it doesn't catch the hands. 2-2. At least from my vantage point here, Tebbett playing pretty deep, I think, considering the pull more than the push. Maybe by a couple feet.
Tachioka's a little more shallow, but he can get away with it with his speed.
Yeah. Could put him at third base. He'd probably make most catches in the
Yeah, fair enough.
Tap called.
I'm not sure why Watt is inside the runner. I would have thought him at the very least playing in his pocket.
He's chatting away with him.
Oh, you can do that from behind, too. 2 strikes on the batter. And
swing and a miss.
Nice
Toby
pitch
Simmons.
there.
First K of the day, but that's the 4th for Leandro Mejia.
that's a filthy pitch. It really is. I mean, if he could follow that up with more strikes. Oh, they're going to go to Cruz, I think.
Interesting they would do it while still in the inning, I have to say. I guess he got him warmed up, but I think if you're Mejia, you're arguing,
Well, judging by the smile on his face, Mejia thought he was going to be able to get through this inning. He's got to pull him now, second visit.
We've talked a lot as we do see Jorge de la Cruz is coming out as this is the should be the last visit here for Mejia. Although we talked a little bit before about pitch sequencing and how I was saying you could kind of predict based on what we were seeing for Colby Ring at the beginning. You could literally pick his sequence. You knew what he was trying to do to approach batters. With Mejia, part of his danger is you don't know. Sometimes you don't know where he's putting the ball because sometimes he doesn't know where he's putting the ball.
Precisely, yep, that's precisely it.
And Mejia comes out, does a great job here through 2 innings, had those 2 walks, neither of which scored a run, 4 Ks, a caught stealing, which was Savage's doing. Pretty solid, 4 Ks, 2 walks, nobody on base, no hits. Not too bad there from Leandro Mejia.
And yeah, I'm with you. I would prefer my relievers to come out and start an inning.
Well, Jorge de la Cruz is going to come in with 2 outs already in the inning. Runners still on first and second. We joked yesterday that Lucas Lefebvre could have eaten a packed lunch while he was a base runner on second base. Today, Eduardo De Olio has been out there a hot second. You wonder if the fear from that at-bat earlier in the inning has subsided there. As here's Jorge de la Cruz getting warmed up to close this one out for Brantford, hoping to do so to put a W in the win column should his offense give him some support. The numbers for Jorge de la Cruz, 3.24 ERA through 8 1/3 innings of work. 16 strikeouts to 5 walks on the season, 3 earned runs allowed, through 8 innings. So he's a good arm, arguably our best out of the bullpen, depending how you consider Pedro de los Santos. I don't blame them for having, given him 1 extra batter. I am just a little bit surprised based on the way managers will conventionally treat a reliever.
I agree there. I definitely. He's a big strikeout guy. I mean, he's 2 strikeouts an inning, basically. De la Cruz.
Here's the numbers.
That's a crazy number.
So you see there, De La Cruz, also the 0-2 record, has yet to come in relief in a ball game that the Red Sox then go on to win.
But keep in mind that 16 strikeouts, I mean, that's in 8 innings, 8 1/3 innings. That's 2 strikeouts an inning. That is huge. That is, I mean, one of the probably the leader in the major leagues is 14 or 15 strikeouts per 9 innings, and he's at 18.
So here's Josh Niles, the first baseman up for the 4th time. First pitch from De La Cruz. Savage set up outside, went outside, but was too far. Ball 1. So the best reliever on the mound against theoretically the weakest part of the majors lineup, the next 3 batters. Swing and a miss there from Niles, 1-1.
That's nasty, that off-speed pitch when you're throwing at low 90s and then you come back with that pitch there. That's tough sledding. Now, if he comes back with fastball, it's going to look like it's 100 mile an hour compared to the last pitch.
Ball wide, ball 2. 2-1, and the only batter from the top of the London Majors lineup that is guaranteed to come back to this ball game is Francisco Fajardo when we come back around to the 1 spot, although even him has a single today, a hit by pitch, and then 2 strikeouts. So De La Cruz not exactly facing today's hottest hitters. 2-1. That ball wide again, trying to pick that outside corner, just can't find it.
Yeah, he's just dropping down in his arm slot a little bit. causes you to yank it glove side.
Ty Mosher on deck. 3-1 with one more walk would load the bases. The pitch. In the dirts. Ball 4. First batter De La Cruz faces will load the bases in front of him with 2 outs in the inning.
One thing I will say about the pitching change, possibility is if Mejia does just that and walks the batter, the thought of bringing Cruz in with the bases loaded leaves him no room for error. So at least he gets a chance to acclimate himself, even if he walks the first hitter. So.
Well, if you're a believer in patterns, this inning's gone walk, strikeout, walk. So
good start there.
Good start to get that third K of the inning. Strike 1.
Nobody's even looking at that off-speed pitch. It's almost like a get-me-over curveball.
A walk and 2 groundouts today for Mosher. No hits yet. The 0-1, that ball well barreled there by Mosher. Out to range for it is Black and Tachioka. Black, the sliding grab. Nice play by number 4. That's why when Palos went down with injury, he was the man they subbed in at center. Good catch.
Yeah, that was a game saver for sure. That's going to score 3 if that drops.
That ball was about exactly middle between left and center, and they both had about an equal placement on it, which should speak to the speed of Brody Black. He almost beat Tachioka to that baseball to call him off.
I think Tachioka probably makes the catch if Black's not there, but as usual, you yield to the center fielder. And it is loud here. They want free pizza.
I mean, can you blame them? We've said before, it's one of the best perks of the job. Alrighty, so bottom of the 8th coming up. It feels like every inning here today we've started with somewhere towards the middle bottom of the order. It's going to be Veyu, Cantor, Savage, and Tebbit, the next 4 batters up. So here's a kind of a random stat that I've invented that I'm going to point out now. So today, for Brantford, the offense, the leadoff hitter, so more so speaking to where the previous inning ended, the leadoff hitter in the order for every inning for Brantford today has come from, obviously, the opening spot when LaFave started the game, then Savage in the 8th spot, Veyu in the 6, Watt in the 4, Cantor in the 7, and now we're opening it back up in the 6th spot again. These innings are always leading off towards the bottom of the lineup where you don't have that carefully cultivated order of hitters in the same way that you do with that leadoff spot. So interesting, and I think that speaks to how well Ortega and Tachioka played today, that when it comes up to them, they're not ending the inning. They're keeping the momentum going, and it's not until you get down to that 4 or 5 spot that innings are coming to an end.
Yeah, fair enough. And I guess I wonder if Bateman's available.
Yeah, we got Savage warming up on deck.
I see Devapalan up swinging a bat. I'd be surprised. Like I said, I don't know if
We'll
at
call
the very
it
least,
pinch hitters, but
at the very least, if Bateman's available, if Savage gets on, you run for him, and then you can move Watt behind the plate and put Veyu at first.
we know Bateman's here. He's been the warm-up catcher for the pitchers throughout most of this game.
Is that?
Alrighty, so Jacob Cantor up for the 4th time today. 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a flyout his day so far. He could really use a hit to get him on the board. Savage on deck. Talked earlier about how as that ball goes a little bit high. We talked about earlier, 1 for 9 the bottom of the order on getting on base today. The bottom 3 hitters, I should say. Tebbit, his only time on base was an error, which eventually he scored on. The 2-0. Arias puts that one inside. 3 consecutive balls for Cantor. You got to think he's going to lay off whatever he sees next.
We'll say this. There's been some good karma this season in the 8th inning for the Brantford Red Sox, and we'll see if we can continue on with that good karma.
That ball's low. 4-ball walk for Cantor. He's had 3 on the year. That now makes it 4 walks to 3 strikeouts, his ratio in his short tenure as a Red Sox. So the Red Sox fans at home, this one is much more within reach than that game in Welland, or with Welland yesterday. Savage now up.
Well,
Matt Torreson on deck now, replacing Graham Tebbett. He will pinch hit there in the right field spot. Of course, he is a capable right fielder on defense as well, so he'll play the 9th inning well. So Torreson now on deck. First pitch from Arias. Savage gets a barrel on that one. Right out to left field for Zdunic. Plays it well. Likely no base runner goes. Can confirm. He'll head back to first. First pitch fly out for Savage. That's his second in consecutive innings, 3rd of the day. So he's barreling baseballs. We've seen a couple from Savage go in that left center field area. He's barreled them well. He's just not getting them down.
Yeah, he got that one in just a little bit in on the hands and missed it, but saw a pitch he liked and hit it. You know, that's a good aggressive at bat.
I mean, the poor guy plays at Arnold Anderson Stadium where fly balls to left go to die. So
yeah, pretty much.
First start for Torreson. First time he's been up today. Got a little bit of swing on that one. That's out towards first base. Oh, just clears the vehicles out there on the first base parking line.
Yeah, that was uncomfortably close.
Well, Lefebvre up behind Torreson. And should the inning end there, the 9th would be Tachioka or Ortega-Watt. Not a bad part of the order to be heading into, especially seeing Arias for the second time. 0-1, now 0-2. Arias is getting his spot back. Torreson hitting .227 on the year. Started at right field the number of all games. We've seen him plenty this year, only 6 RBIs. Here's the 0-2. Strike 3. 3 quick strikes for the pinch hitter, Matt Torreson. Puts 2 outs up on the board. That is Arias' first strike of the ball game. First strikeout, pardon me. So Lucas Lefebvre now up. The ball popped up and over our heads.
Arias is tough, man. You just got to start piecing together some at-bats if they can. Lefebvre has been hammering gaps for the last couple of days. If you get one here, you get at least get an opportunity to get the tying run on base for Tachioka.
Strike that ball, hit over the head of the first baseman, gets down, around comes the runner. Lefebvre on with his first hit of the day. Ball comes back in, and around to third comes the base runner. Jacob Cantor walked to lead off the inning, and with a single from Lefebvre, he's all the way to third.
Well, and here's your best case scenario. Tying a run on with your best hitter up at the plate and your best RBI guy on deck.
We'll make a quick correction as Arias comes out for a quick mound visit. Was 1 number off. My mistake there. That was Graham Tebbett, who stayed in the ball game, was not pinch hit for by Matty Torreson. Did come out. Torreson, we'll see. He could be an option potentially to pinch hit in the 9th. He is in the building. But was 1 number off. And all of our outfielders, especially the right fielders that tend to sub with each other, tend to wear 26, 27, 28, and then Bateman often pinch hits at 29. So they don't make it easy on me, but that's my mistake.
Got some action in the London bullpen there. I was a little bit surprised to see that, knowing that Arias is a starter and they haven't exactly barreled him up. That was a pretty good pitch that Lefebvre took and dumped into right field there.
So a question in the chat from Miri May. No home runs today for either side, Majors or Red Sox included. Mostly a small ball kind of game here to get us to 5-3, and now runners on the corners for a small ball kind of player. That's Ren Tachioka up next.
Yeah, it's a best case scenario, like I said, for Brantford to at least get that runner in from third.
Ball grounded right to the second baseman, into first. Tachioka, a rare leadoff ground out to start his at-bat, and that'll retire the side once again. I think that's now 8 runners left on base today for the Red Sox, if not more than that. It's everything we've talked about all season.
Yep.
You're right at the jaws of victory, and You get the clutches of defeat, and really, if we just had a power bat that could execute at least out to right field, a little bit more lefty power, you got to wonder maybe that's a personnel pickup for next season, because Tachioka's had a couple on the year, but he's always thinking contact. He's thinking on base. A left-handed power bat here at Arnold Anderson would change the complexion of this whole team.
Agreed, and I would, now that to answer that question, when was the last home run we saw by a Brantford hitter? And I think it's Cassidy Watts in my first game. Going all the way back to the Kitchener game, and that's it's been several games since we've seen a home run from a Brantford player. This is a tough park to hit him out of, but we got to be able to hit him every once in a while.
We had a doubleheader. Your first game, I believe, was the Friday. I think that Sunday we had two, one from Tebbett, one from Tachioka, both to right field. But I think you're right. That game was over a month ago.
Yep.
Which is wild. Not really hitting futility here the same way a couple other teams in the IBL have had at home. It's just for power. It's just those power swings. We just, for whatever reason, a lot of teams don't tend to have success, mostly because, again, the righties are hitting out to the left field area that, whether it be wind or field dimensions, is so difficult. Right field's a little bit more attainable, but you don't see a lot of lefty power. We saw it yesterday from Welland, but none of their guys went yards. So.
Yep. So the dichotomy of the eighth inning there, with the success that they had getting a couple guys on, you've now used Tachioka, and you if you weren't going to score a run, you'd say I'd rather have him leading off the ninth to get on ahead of Ortega. But I must say I was a little surprised at him swinging at that first pitch. He's such a good hitter, you have to trust his process every time.
Wind's starting to pick up here a little bit at Arnold Anderson.
Yeah, doing everybody a favor. Have that breeze picking up. It's pretty muggy here today.
So here's the top of the ninth.
9-1-2, I believe. Amaral up first. Ooh, got a call there.
Strike one called there to Dre Amaral. 0-1 is the count. De La Cruz, that ball, similar spot, didn't get the call that time. Maybe evens it up, Ben Mercier at home plate.
That one might have been low.
So Dre Amaral now looking at even 1-1. De La Cruz's 10th pitch of the day is strike two to Amaral. 1-2 now. This would be a huge inning if he was able to close it out, De La Cruz. 2 runs is attainable through the power part of the Brantford lineup. 2 wide, ball 2.
So it makes you wonder, is Arias going to come out and pitch the ninth, or they had a guy warming up? Number 38 there, I'm not sure who that is.
Up high towards the hands, makes it a full count.
Surprisingly few jerseys with names on them in this league.
Can't think of any. I think Hamilton did for the All-Star game. That one chopped over to second base. Fielded cleanly by Lefebvre. Gets it to Cassidy Watt, first out of the inning. So now the bottom 2 hitters, a combined 5 groundouts here between Mosher and Amaral today. And Francisco Fajardo back up for his 5th time. I talked about earlier, one of these top threats in the lineup, but really between him and Ken Tsuji, just not much in the way of real hits. 1 proper hit, 1 hit by pitch, 1 fielder's choice. That's an 8 at-bats for the top 2. First pitch high and wide, ball 1. Tsuji back on deck. De La Cruz. Again, same spot, high and wide. Can't quite place that outside high spot. 15 pitches here for De La Cruz. Since he's come in. Right down Main Street. Didn't even pretend he was going to swing, and I don't blame him. 2-1 for Fajardo. Fly out and ground out since De La Cruz came in the game. That one almost inside on the feet. Luckily gets out of the way, 3-1. That ball thrown back over to the Red Sox dugout. De La Cruz will reset. Would really love to cap this one off with anything but a walk. Kicks and deals on 3-1. That ball just catches the bottom part of the zone. One of many full counts today. This one could be 2 outs, or it could be a runner on first.
Yeah, he's had no interest in swinging here. Go right at him.
Wow. Must have been just high. Fajardo will get ball 4, free walk.
Yeah, that was up.
That was a gutsy call as the home plate umpire there in the 9th inning. So Ken Suji now up. 1 out in the inning. Fajardo now on first. Remember, Fajardo, after singling earlier, tried to steal the bag on that late steal. Got caught by Savage. We'll see if he's got those instincts again. First pitch to Suji. First one's in for a strike. Gets ahead of a batter.
Your first thought is you hope they have washing machines at Labatt Park there, and that way Fajardo can slide and get his pants washed.
Here's the 0-1. That ball fouled off. Third base line. First time we've had a really good pitcher count in a while. 0-2. DeOlio, the man on deck.
This will be really interesting. DeOlio against De La Cruz.
That one quickly foul or chopped off towards second base for 1. Not for 2. Decides better of the throw, and they'll record the ground out there. Could have potentially been a double play. Just didn't quite get there with the urgency.
I thought maybe Lefebvre would jump in front of the runner and freeze him and then throw it to first and then get the runner in a pickle. But got the lead runner, make sure he gets the out. And this is a very interesting matchup. Power versus power at its highest level.
Savage, a little bit of communication there from behind home plate. This is one they're really going to want to cultivate. Could be the final batter of the day for the majors. That ball high for the first pitch to DeOlio. You got to think they're not going to give much to him. Suji, see what he does. But a 3-step lead off first.
They could run, but I don't know if you want to take the bat out of DeOlio's hands here.
Oof, big swing, big miss, 1-1. Yeah, if they put more balls on the count, could see a hit and run try, but.
If he goes, I would say it's probably here.
No, I think De La Cruz had a similar thought to you, Brian. Tries the pick, no dice.
Like I say, I don't anticipate him going, but if he's going to go, this would be probably the count.
One. Wide off the plate, 2-1.
And each ball that he throws increases the likelihood that he will go. Just try and get him in scoring position before DeOlio gets 2 strikes on him would be my goal.
2-1, 2 outs. Swing and a miss there for DeOlio, his second of the at-bat, 2-2-2 on the scoreboard. De La Cruz could be 1 pitch away from giving his team only a 2-run deficit into the bottom of the 9th. Suji, once again about 3, maybe 3.5 steps.
Back to the slider here, one would think.
Runner goes. Ball sent out towards right field. Tracking it down is Tebbett. Slides. Can't get a hand on it. Jumps the fence. The inning will continue at 2-2.
Tough play there. That fence coming up on you in a big hurry. There's not, the closer you get to the wall, the less room there is in foul territory. There's probably only 10 or 12 feet of foul territory at the home run fence. And so as soon as you get into foul territory, you got to start thinking about hitting the deck and sliding into that fence. Otherwise, bad things can happen to you, especially if you hit one of the posts.
Tebbett very versatile, but you wonder, had Powell's not been injured, was that Brody Black playing out there? Does the more experienced right fielder get to that ball? 2-2. Swing
check
and
that.
a miss. They'll check first. Don't need to. Home plate umpire calls it. Strikeout ends the inning, and it'll give the Red Sox only 2 runs worth of hill to climb here in this bottom of the 9th. Getting a good part of the order. Like I said, I believe it's going to be Ortega leading off, the highest up the order that the Red Sox have led off today. It will indeed be Chris Ortega, Cassidy Watt, Brody Black. Your next 3, not bad, certainly in terms of RBI production. Not a bad part of the lineup to face here in the closing stages.
Yeah, like I say, the only thing about the success of last inning is that you'd like to have Tachioka leading off, but the reality is Ortega's not a bad guy to start with.
So Ortega, Watt, Black, down to Veyu, Cancer. After that, should they be needed. This part of the lineup, 2 of the team's 3 singles have come from the 3 gentlemen you're about to see in the bottom of the 9th. 3 walks of the 7 on the day here for the Red Sox. A lot of ground outs, 1 fly out, only 2 strikeouts from this section of the lineup, which, given the total on the day, isn't too high of a number.
So Skylar Janice into pitch now for the majors. I remember him. We beat him in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Good arm, throws hard, good secondary pitches, but gettable.
So Janice is going to take on Ortega for the first time today, and always the interesting component is, as a batter, you talk about the advantage. As a starter in your first inning of work, you come in, you have the advantage against new batters who haven't seen you before. Well, the closers have that similar advantage. And interesting in terms of, we're going to see a lot of ball teams a lot of times, like multiple times throughout the rest of the calendar, because there's a lot of teams we just haven't played. The London Majors, not one of those. I believe this is the last time we'll play them this season. Likely they've seen Janice a couple times before, especially a main hitter like Ortega, who's played every day.
Well, Janice is their closer. I mean, he's got 9 saves.
Well, it's been a hot game of ball, closing in on 3 hours for this contest, and the Red Sox would certainly like to send the home fans and the fans watching on the broadcast home happy. That first ball, not barreled well. That's up, just foul. End of the first base grandstand. Great camera shot there by our cameraman, top of the bleachers. Don't often get a fan cam here on the broadcast. That was cool. Looking at it with my eyes. Starting to see rain coming down a little bit more meaningfully now. 0-1. We get 1-1 wide off the plate. And here's a question that I think we've started to have to talk about as more and more games have happened with a little bit of rain in the air. What does that do to the baseball for the pitcher in terms of grip?
It's usually not too bad. The baseball doesn't spend a lot of time exposed.
That ball, barreled by Ortega in the gap. Raging is the fielder, but he can't get there. Amaral lets that one come down. Ortega leads off the bottom of the 9th with his 2nd single of the day.
That's the time when the ball will get a little slick, as if you hit one along the ground, and it'll get wet if the grass is wet. Well, the last Brantford guy I saw hit a home run was the guy at the plate right now, and boy, they could use him to barrel something up now. It's going to be tough to get one out of here today, but if you could at least hit a gapper, get the second runner in scoring position with no outs, then you have to like their chances, the possibilities of tying this game up.
He's got a weird slash line today for a guy that's traditional catcher. 2 walks at a stolen base. That ball wide, having a little bit of trouble finding the zone is Janice. Even 1-1 against Big Cass. Ortega on first. Long ball would tie it. That ball low and in the dirt. Nice job by DeLeo to get that one in the glove.
Yeah, great pick.
So 2-1. Rain coming down and starting to trail out a little bit right of the commentary booth, left of the pitcher. That ball fouled back into the fencing. Even 2-2 now. Big pitch here for Cassidy Watt.
Good pitch there. Got it up and in on the hands.
Birdie Black is on deck. No outs yet in this inning. Here's the 2-2. Oh, Watt the swing. Tries it low. Sits him down. First strikeout of the day for Cassidy Watt, and it comes at probably the least preferable time if you had to decide between his 5 at-bats today. Brody Black, a 1 out in the inning. He's got a runner on first. Again, 1 swing could tie the ball game. And he's got Jeremy Veyu, the experienced hitter, experienced DH behind him in the lineup. Could be the final batter we see today. First one in, outside corner, strike one.
And therein lies the importance of getting ahead of a batter so that you can go to that slider outside and see if you can get him to chase. When you get behind, you don't have the luxury of throwing that pitch.
Second pitch is on the inside. Home plate umpire Ben Mercier won't give it to him. 1-1. So Janice had the advantage. Now back, tied up 1-1. Got to think Ortega's not going to do anything too crafty on the base pass. Oh, big swing, big miss though. Black will want that one back. 1-2.
Yeah, he tried to pull that one. Unfortunately, if he hit it where it's pitched, he had an opportunity to rope it into the gap on the right side there.
It was a leadoff single for Ortega. Since then, one strike. Could be another here. What's Brody Black got? 1-2. He's got 2-2 now. Janice puts that one well wide of the batter. Two. Remember, Vayu on deck.
London bench is fired up.
And kicks and deals. Swing
Same
and
pitch.
a miss. Same exact spot that he just got Cassidy Watt.
So ends a rough couple of games for Brody Black.
Yeah, walking a single today. Other than that, I think that's 5 strikeouts in 2 games here to start off the 3-game weekend. So Jeremy Vayu, he's got the game on his bat. He's got Jacob Cancer behind him, should he be needed. And he's got what would be the tying run on his bat, should he go long. First ball up high towards the face of Vayu. Ball 1. Ball game just a couple minutes short of 5 o'clock. 5 runs for the London Majors, 3 for the Red Sox. 1 batter left. One fouled back. 1-1. So it was the ball up high from Janice. That one gets a strike, and we know his spot against the righties, at least in this inning. That low slider kind of moving away. It's fooled back-to-back. 2 of the best hitters for the Red Sox. Both sat down by it.
Yeah, you got to assume he's going back to that pitch.
1-1, tipped back. The game is now in the hands of Skylar Janice. 1-2, 2 outs. If you're Vayu, you got to watch out for that slider, but last thing you want is to put the game in the hands of the home plate umpire. Want to swing if you can. That's the ball game. Lets it go by. Same spot. Janice shoots off the arrow. And the London Majors hold him off. 5-3. It was 5-2 at one point. The Red Sox brought it back a little closer in the 7th, but after that, the best in the lineup for the London Majors. They lock it down. They do what they got to do to keep the game in hand, and the relief pitchers and the closer do their job to hold this one off. 5-3 the final score here, Brian, as the London team bus warms up. Gets ready to take their squad back tonight. The Red Sox will head back tomorrow at 2 o'clock in a ball game that felt more attainable than that Welland Jackfish game, but we're going to sound like a broken record if we go over the reasons this game got away from us, because they're the exact same as about the last 10.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is not a recording. Suspect defense, lack of timely hitting, lack of execution on pitches when ahead of the count. You just keep saying the same stuff over and over, and you don't want to really belabor the point because it seems excessive, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, it's something that needs to be addressed moving forward for a team that is looking less and less likely to make the playoffs. And so now moving forward, you just got to keep working toward what's going to happen for next season. It's time to start looking at players who you're going to want back and guys who you maybe won't get back. Time to get guys some playing time. I think they're potentially 8 games out now with about 11 to play, which, you know, the math is not in their favor at this point. So, like I said, this point it's less about what isn't going and what is and isn't going on, but more about what are you doing towards next year so that you can get out to a better start and be more competitive.
Well, to quote the White Snakes on currently playing, we've kept searching for an answer. We haven't seemed to find what we're looking for, but hopefully as we come down the stretch here with, again, quite a few home contests as well as one on the road tomorrow in London, hopefully we can find a little bit of something as the London Majors move up to 20 wins on the season. They hit that mark that just yesterday, I believe I forget. Some team got up to 20 wins. It was the Barrie Baycats. Barrie Baycats, who were second in the league. This should tie them similar record, the London and Barrie. So today, a big contest for you Majors fans watching in the chat. Brantford Red Sox dropped to 6-25. Like I said earlier, with a win today, this should lock either Chatham-Kent or Hamilton into the playoffs. For us, don't forget, 2 p.m. is the start time tomorrow for that game in London. Let's pull up the schedule ahead for the rest of the year past that game. We'll tell you the exact place to come watch our Brantford Red Sox IBL broadcast the rest of the way. There's your schedule ahead coming up. One more road contest. That game is in Kitchener this Thursday, July 31st. But then we're back here at home. Friday and Sunday is going to be the order of things the rest of the season. Every Friday and Sunday till the 18th of August, we got Brantford Red Sox home baseball. So Chatham-Kent, Hamilton, road game against Welland, and then another big game against Barrie. Some good opponents, but a team that we know has some good pieces. They just need to get back in the winners column. Today, the 8th straight loss for the Brantford Red Sox. London snaps their one-game losing skid. With that, we'll bring it to about a close. I want to thank you, Brian, for being alongside me as always, and you've sat through 2 very hot baseball games. We should be getting double pay. We'll speak to the parties that be about that because these are tough games to call when it's 35 degrees. Same goes for our awesome volunteers, though. Thank you for sticking around in 35-degree weather. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check out that new episode of Brantford Red Sox Report with the man himself, Brian Hawley. Got posted just before our ball game last night on Friday. Go check that episode out on YouTube and check out the new episode coming out live on Monday night at 10 p.m. That on Rogers Channel 20 TV, and it should be on YouTube likely Wednesday of next week. For Brandon Barnard, Brian Hawley, the entire crew, I am Marshall Crocker, as always, your host. And we thank you for watching Brantford Red Sox IBL Baseball. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Check out the road game in London tomorrow, and we will see you on Friday night.